My name's Commander Pulsar. I'm going to be your GM for this evening, and we're going to have a good time. To run over stuff really fast, Swords of the Serpentine is a swords and fantasy setting for the Gumshoe system, which you may know from such awesome games as Trail of Cthulhu, Night's Black Agents, Time Watch, Mutant City Blues. I know I'm forgetting several. Ashen Stars, lots of good games from those guys at Pelgrane Press. We have a discount code that I'm sure Brandon can pop into chat for us, that if you are interested in this and want to get a copy, it is being printed the month of June. So I'm hoping this time at the end of the month of next month, I'll be able to show you a copy of this game. But anyway, you can get your order in, and there's a discount on that. That is a thing that we can do. So we've got that going on. This is the thing I do. You can also find me on other stuff. On Sunday, we finished building the Millennium Falcon, the giant 2 foot by 3 foot, huge mini figure scale Millennium Falcon that is occupying the other half of my desk. And then I do this, and I do some other things on Start Playing Games, which is a fantastic service that you can go to find professional game masters if you're not going to visit the next person I'm going to talk to, Stephanie at Charm Person Games.
I'm Stephanie Allen. I am half of Charm Person Games. We're a professional game master for hire service based out of Baltimore. We are queer women owned. So, Pride starts tomorrow. Give gay people your money. I'm a gay people. Give me your money. I'll run it and give you what. And tonight I'm going to be playing Lady Adarian Ligorio.
Who's next in initiative order?
Aki.
And I was muted. Hi, my name is Aki. I am a streamer of random things, and starting tomorrow, we'll be doing officially opening my character Amigurini. We only have 2 slots of those left, so you should totally go check it out. And I will be playing Pax, and our pronouns are she, they. And Kitty.
Hi, I'm Kitty. Pronouns are she, her. I am playing Riona O'Kieran of the Von Tafni, and also she, her pronouns. And you can find me on Twitter at wizardly_kitty. Cole, your turn.
Hey there, I am Cole, aka Cole Brew. My pronouns are he, him, they, them. I will be playing Alwyn of Branspole, and whose pronouns are also he, him, they, them. Nothing much to announce about until later in the show. Yeah.
Oh, make that sweet. I love it. Very cool. And Cole did mention something in our chat that is a good idea for one of the important things about characters in Swords of the Serpentine are their drives, the things that motivate them to do adventurous stuff, to get involved in the kind of goings on, and not be the kind of New Yorker that just walks by and say that is someone else's problem. So the way the game puts this, the question to the player is, what is best in life, Conan? So name your 3 things that drive your character forward. And I'm just going to ask you guys to give us one of those things, but something that maybe something that might be pertinent to tonight's scenario about signing day. So do we want to go around? I'm going to put it back to Cole, because Cole's the one that brought this up. So you tell us, buddy, what's one of Alwyn's drives?
Yeah, I'm going to say the top one, the very first drive I thought of, which is being a part of history starts with a dramatic flair.
Oh, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. And who's next? Again, we use popcorn initiative, so whoever goes gets to pick the next person. So Alwyn, who's next?
Get myself. Let's go in reverse order. Kitty.
All right. One of Riona's drives is protecting and helping those who need it. So I guess
Nice.
it's Aki's turn next. If we're going backwards.
I guess we are going backwards.
You don't have to follow Cole's rules.
I mean, why not?
I mean, you can. I'm just saying you don't have to.
Probably the most pertinent one to tonight for PAX is upholding justice without compromising their morals. So
Nice.
that would be.
Gee, I wonder. Oh, yeah, I said I wonder who's next.
One of Darren's drives is coming out on top.
Nice. Love
One
it.
of the best things in life.
That's it. Fantastic. Yep. the overview of Eversink. Eversink is, well, to tell the story of where Eversink comes from, because it is signing day. That 1,000 years ago, on this day, on this amazing holiday, a bunch of struggling refugees, basically floundering in the estuary of the river Serpentine, surrounded by swamp, chased by monsters, eaten by bugs, just riddled with disease, and without hope, ran into the goddess Denari and made a deal. And as part of that deal, she would provide protection and a place to live, and in their part, worship and commerce and a certain divine return on investment over the next 1,000 years, amortized at a reasonable percentage rate, and with only a few important riders about heresy and things like that. So once that agreement was signed, and by all of the families who are now known as the ancient nobility of Eversink, the several islands were raised from the swamp, and land provided. They provided they built buildings, they fished for food, and the fishing waters were safe. The disease abated. They were not eaten by swamp monsters. And for the next 1,000 years, that contract has existed, while the city has grown and grown and expanded to be the largest, most prosperous city in the known world, probably the unknown world as well. A few weird things, that the city's buildings constantly sink, but that's a small thing. I mean, it could be worse. I mean, you could be living in Voltavny with no house at all, or in Irlev with snow all the time, or in Erebos where you have to listen to the fire god all the time. So, it's not a bad deal, and everyone in Eversink is super happy about it. And the 1,000-year contract is up today. A new one has, and we're going to flash back a couple of weeks, because a new one has been prepared, and in part by some of our crew. Alwyn wanted to be part of the deal and was contacted by barristers and said, okay, we understand, we have it on good authority that you're very well versed in forgotten lore and some of our ancient history and things, and we want to make sure our I's are dotted and our T's are crossed, and that we've gone over everything and make sure we're good as far as holding up our end of the contract, because that is the other part of signing day, is all the apocalyptic cults and the people wearing sandwich boards saying the end is nigh, and all the other folks that are just almost certain that the delinquents in those other parts of town are going to make sure that are going to see to it that Denari is unhappy with the returns on her investment over the last 1,000 years and will, by contract, destroy the city and sink it back into the swamp. So, the folks that are on the this is a great thing, let's keep it going side of things are very much wanting to make sure that they have provided the appropriate return on investment, even though it's largely intangible and hard to understand from a mortal perspective. But, that's where experts in forgotten lore are real important. People can say, the thaumic energy that you would derive from this kind of worship, and use your magic technobabble skill to, well, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance.
Yeah, and
roll sway.
Very good in bullshit.
That's where a sway roll comes in handy.
Yeah, I think Alwyn 1 just says, what kind of ink are we using on the contract? Because that does affect how this looks.
Well, I mean, we have people handling the physical part of the contract. I mean, the noble house that worked on the contract the first time is still under contract for this. It's a writer in the contract. So Ligorio Inc. is going to be working on the actual. And I'm going to get back to Stephanie, because I want her to tell me the name of the noble house that made the paper that has somehow lasted 1,000 years.
Okay.
because I mean, probably good friends of your house. I mean, ink and paper go together. That's
It's true.
but yeah, I mean, of course, the church will tell you, and a sorcerer would probably tell you as well, that being a divine contract is going to have a lot to do with the longevity of the book, of the paper. But yeah, I mean, there are other 1,000-year-old books around. Are there 1,000-year-old books around that aren't infused with dark sorceress magics, though?
Yeah, probably.
Not many,
there's someone's fan
it,
fiction out there that is just like very pure and innocent. It's like an actual coffee shop AU that they wrote about of like their favorite gods.
And that's the thing
is preserved really well.
Yeah, worship. Worship gives power to spirits and divine entities and things like that. So, if enough people read your coffee house fan fiction AU, then now suddenly that entity. So yes, so great. Now, thank you, Cole, for inventing cat girl gods for my Swords of the Serpentine game. I appreciate that.
My work is done. Good night, everyone.
Very much. Yes. Good night, everyone. We're done. That's that's it. We've gone straight to anime at top speed.
But yeah, I think discussing the barrister, they're probably like actively looking through all the paperwork and saying, what kind of evidence are you going to be showing to Denari? How are you presenting this?
Sure.
There are like 20 different ways worship was done, and do we want to go with the classic way, or we want to do something new, modern, and change up the tradition a little bit? And then mention like the 5 stories where they did do that, and we don't hear about those places where that happened anymore.
Well, I mean, yeah, over 1,000 years, the liturgy, the worship of Denari has changed all kinds of ways. That would be one of those things that you get to tell me when it's appropriate in game with forgotten lore of how this was done in what era and so on. I mean, right now the city is run by the Triskadane, but it has had kings, it has had emperors, it has had socialist collectives in charge in the past, and not all of those have held up. But same thing with the church. It has evolved and changed. I mean, the Holy Writ and tax code now is a lot more complex than the Holy Writ and tax code when we first started, 1,000 years ago, when it was huts on an island and people were raising pigs and fishing for food. So, there's a lot more business conducted and a lot more foreign trade and things like that. So there's, stuff has expanded and contracted and changed and been written and rewritten and all that good stuff. So the curious thing about all of this and all of the paperwork they have, every version of the contract that they're working from is a copy. At no point in this is probably a month and a half that you've been looking at this, and they've probably been working on this longer, given the boxes of records and things like that they kind of sit you in at a desk. Yeah, what kind of place are you working at? I mean, I'm going to imagine it's probably one of those. These are high-end barristers' offices. These are the people that are lawyers for the nobility and the rich and the mercanti and all of that. So you're not in a university library, and this is probably like a really nice, well-appointed office. But I mean, what kind of space? Who are you working with? Like,
I would definitely. I think it's just like a really long table, and the table can be broken up to divide up paperwork and make it a little bit smoother for transition. But when Alwyn is in the room to look over everything and compare it to what they know from past history, and they have like little pieces they keep like a thumb covered in different colored dust and charcoal to mark what kind of error they've done and what needs to be corrected. And you need to write to this person and send a runner out to the city to verify this part of the information because this sounds inaccurate over the past 1,000 years. All that kind of stuff. And it's just walls and walls of drawers of different sizes, each of them having like a nice little lock, and it just like seals in paperwork and records.
Okay.
But
I'm kind of picturing something, like there's like probably a room that like a safe deposit box, almost one of those rooms that have the boxes of different sizes. But I'm also imagining there's probably some kind of like, I'm thinking like an old legal library, except an older library where everything's still done with the Dewey Decimal cards. So you have one of those things that's just drawers and drawers of those pull-out cards. You shake your head, Brandon. That's the way we used to have to do it. Yeah, I'm old.
Nobody misses it.
Nobody misses it. There's just nostalgia. That's all. I mean, I think it's great. I'd love to be in one of those rooms and just smell it again and all the old books. I don't want to use it. I'm like, hey, that's a cool Dewey Decimal System over there. Where's your library computer? I want to access some. Yeah. But anyway, unfortunately, the only way around that in Eversync is with magic, and magic's it's never worth it. It's always evil and bad. At least, for anybody that's trying to work with the church and Denari anyway. But speaking of, sorcery is never evil and bad. Tell me more about the preparations on the physical side of things with the new contract, which I guess is the clever and imaginative name that we're going for with the new contract. Is the new contract. So I mean, I guess if you only have to name it once every 1,000 years, everyone knows which contract you're talking about, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, it's only the second contract, so it's not like there's a defined naming schema yet.
Yeah, sure. I think contract 2 Electric Boogaloo has already been shot down.
Yeah, probably.
Mostly for not knowing about electricity, really.
Yeah. I think there's been a lot. It's been incredibly busy. I think most people have like barely heard from Darren unless it's like related to business. There's been a lot of work on like a lot of debate, as well as like, should we recreate the original ink? Like, should we do that, or should we use this opportunity to roll out something else and like be able to ride off the sales on that? And there's like lots of debate, and there's probably lots of different inks being in development at the same time. If you think, there's been a lot of probably interviews and a lot of sample work by people who will be like doing the actual calligraphy, and people who would be doing illumination. There's been lots and lots and lots of samples. I feel like there's like rooms full of samples of paper, of ink, of people's portfolios, of printing press. Like what does this printing press look like versus that printing press? What combination of ink, what combination of paper? I think we've been working very closely with House Abore, is what I'm going to go with. Abore. For
nice.
The paper. And
that's so good.
Yeah, I have a tool that I use for naming things. But they
is it French? Is it pronounced Google?
No, it's not Google. She'll never know my secrets. It's House Abore and House Lagorio have been developing together like the paper that would show the ink the best and the ink that will look the best on the paper, to try and make sure, because like this is, we don't want crappy paper because that would make our ink look bad, and they don't want crappy ink because that'll make their paper look cheap. So there's probably been a lot of real close development, probably like for at least a couple of years we've been doing this, and we've like super ramped it up for the now that we're like at the time.
Yeah, it's not like this is a surprise thing. You've known when this was going to happen for the last 1,000 years. So yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I imagine that the paper refinement, there's a whole thing, like you can imagine. I'm going to say probably on the behalf of House of Bore that there have been field trips that Darren has gotten to go on, probably as a young girl, to like these really boring parts of the continent north of Eversink, where somebody from House of Borea was talking about the trees that they have grown specifically because the pulp is gonna be who cares? I'm 7. This is boring. Can I run away and play in the tree? Right, exactly. Can I go play? Yeah, exactly. There's a whole. Well, but as it goes on, you're like, okay, no, they've been doing this about as long as we've been developing ink. So yeah, I've got to imagine there's probably somebody. Tell me, who's a Darren's like cohort or equivalent in House Arbore?
So you just
what are they
bring
like?
on more names to me here.
I mean, just like characteristics wise. I mean, we could
I feel
develop
like it's
them
also
up later.
probably a large family. Because
Sure.
Darren has 2 older sisters and 2 older brothers.
Mhm.
So I feel like this is probably not the firstborn child of their family,
Sure.
but maybe more towards the middle kind of thing. Someone who has also kind of taken over like a specialized branch of the family business. So
Sure.
like Darren handles specialty inks and like R&D of new inks, things that percentage wise are a small amount of what they produce, but also produce a disproportionate amount of money for the business. So like the enterprise level clients kind of thing, like the specialty clients, like so certainly someone who's taken over a specialized branch of that too. Art inks are something new that Lagorio Inks has gotten into the past like 10 years or so. Inks for like painters and artists. So maybe this is someone who I've been working with really closely to develop like canvases and art books and like the kind of paper that artists need.
Those
and, like,
really nice sketchbook kind of.
Or sometimes like a huge pile of like cheap stuff because you become a good artist by producing too much art. That's how you become good at art. You just never stop. So maybe somebody like that, around my own age, who probably did grow up together and were like friends because we've just like our families have been together forever, kind of thing.
I'm gonna say probably specializing in like the paper making part of it, the pulp to press kind of part of the paper, not the growing the plants part, but just like, so they're in the city more to be able to be kind of in there, but it's one of those situations that probably when you're around them they faintly smell of chemicals just because of they've like probably come from or has spent hours and hours in kind of the same kind of lab you're in, but it involves a lot more vats and things in the air. So yeah,
imagine
it's kind
Darren
of like
sometimes smells kind of weird because of
that's the thing. Probably
things that
others
go into ink, like pigmented things before like modern chemicals, like you name it, it's been turned into a pigment. There's a lot of stuff out there.
Well, yeah, but Darren doesn't think she smells weird. Darren smells like she always smells.
I think that'd probably be like sometimes it's weird. Like, oh, I've been experimenting with this one seashell, and like I smell like brine, and that's weird, or something like that.
But maybe that's part of why you guys. I'm thinking, do you mesh or do you butt heads?
No, I think we mesh. I think we get along.
I'm picturing this as like a night on the town buddy, a wing person maybe. I don't know.
Probably like an honest, like actual friend.
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
Nice. Then we'll put some work into the name instead of just pull something out of the air. That's fine.
I've been reading and talking at the same time because
all good. So yeah, send me some stuff that is super good.
I'm thinking Marlowe. It's an any gender name, Marlowe.
All right, maybe Marlowe is an any gender person.
That can work for me.
I'm thinking kind of they, them, and Ace. They're more about the paperwork. It's one of those somebody you guys go out and Adarin probably has to push them at someone. You like them,
you
go
have
talk
to
to
get
them.
married at some point, all right? The family wants
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
None of
You
us
like them,
escape it.
You'd like them to go talk to them, but I've got this thing that it'll be there tomorrow. We're out of work. Fair. I love it. That's good. I am going to, yay. This is how we do. We just make NPCs up on the spot. I love it. This is so fun. So, but yeah.
So yeah, there's
Very
probably
good.
a
So,
lot
yeah.
of very busy, like lots of like we don't have time for niceties kind of debates in the office and also in the lab.
Sure.
And I'm probably spending more time in the like big production factory than I normally do.
Yeah.
Because I normally just stay in my little like R&D lab kind of thing and occasionally go over to there, but I probably spend a lot more time there, and there's like it's all anybody in my family is talking about for like weeks. Well, I don't this ink on this paper, we're gonna be like unreasonably heated about combinations of inks and papers and which ones to use and that kind of thing.
Yep. there's probably situations where Adarin is either settling arguments or starting them. One of the two is like, okay, we can't do this, or I'd be like, what do you mean? Or
like constantly shifting allegiances within the family.
Oh man, is that fun for Adarin, or is that stressful?
I think it's normal for her.
Okay. Fair. All right.
It's just that instead of it being like a quieter, like subtler thing around the edges of your conversation, it is now the actual text of the conversation.
Right. Yeah. Fair enough.
Because we're so busy and there's so much writing on this.
Yep. And so, I mean, probably finally, like literally days before the actual event, you kind of get a draft document that, this is what we are presenting to the goddess kind of thing. And to what that Ligorio can. Okay, you have, or just however much lead time, I guess. I imagine that's probably something that you would get to tell them, and then they'll come back and say, well, you have half that amount of time. So, and
this is the one we're going. I feel like we probably would have had to like, this is the ink, like probably a week ago.
Yeah,
this is the ink, because it's going to take all of the scribes and the artists that long just to literally write the contract. So.
Right. Yeah, exactly. There's X amount printed and then X amount illuminated and things like that. And
you gotta have copies of each page so that as the goddess negotiates different changes to it, we can immediately bust it out, kind of thing.
Right. Oh, I love it. So. Yeah. For those who are following this, welcome to producing a book, the tabletop role-playing game. The various changes. The signing day contract is actually being kickstarted by all of the citizens of Eversink.
Can you tell I've done like technical document writing before?
Yep.
I'm apparently making our producer uncomfortable. That's fine. Just hitting too close to home. I understand. But I mean, there's also that there are celebrations, and family celebrations become neighborhood celebrations, become, there are business mergers and celebrations of that. Weddings are done, for signing day, things like, or like all the like prenuptial stuff, etc. Then, the weddings being held on the actual day because, hey, we signed our wedding contract the same day the goddess signed. But that's some prestige. There's a lot that there are probably a number of marriages in Alderhall and the ancient nobility that are going on, some of whom are kind of maybe scandalous, with Mercari marrying up and into noble families and vice versa, but everybody's getting, it's all kind of focused on this day. And like, I mean, even like the Von Tavni neighborhoods in the Foreign District, those folks have been in Eversink long enough, and there are the celebrations are cultural, the neighborhoods around where a lot of the Camian, I don't want to say refugees, but the Camian folks there's a lot of fireworks and gizmos and gewgaws. There's a guy that's got an observation balloon that he's been giving rides up, and you can see the whole city and the surrounding swamp and stuff like that just coming off up above his house. It's all lit up and stuff like that. And of course, kids in the street are shooting fireworks at it because kids. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't have done the same thing with bottle rockets when I was that age. Or never. No, you can't prove anything.
I think there has also been purposely inaccessible to anyone who's not there on business or who isn't like known to be like an actual friend, because because of all the like focus on like marriage and proposals and stuff. She's just like, nope, I am not available for social calls to try and like put some distance. I am too busy. I don't want to deal with this right now.
Right. No, I feel it. I will say though that during all of that, and geared up, that probably there is a moment that does floor Darren just a little, because there'd be a point at which Tomrin would bring her a small folded envelope, or a small envelope with a folded letter inside. And basically it's just very short note with flowery language and praise and stuff I'm uncomfortable writing. But no, it's a very romantic note, and just more along the lines of, we'll be in town on signing day. Understand you're going to be at the ceremony. We'll look forward to seeing it.
Oof. Yeah, I think that makes her really happy. She just like probably carries that letter like tucked into her jacket for a couple of days.
Perfect. Love it. So cool. And but yeah, what are the raucous festivities in the Von Tabney neighborhood? Have they actually managed to like bring horses over to race them in the streets? Or I mean, it's a thing, this is one of those things that you could probably get away with around signing day, maybe not other times, but
I mean, yeah, that would be hilarious if that actually happened. So sure.
Fantastic. All right. Cool. Now I know what Riona's competing in the inner city horse games.
When she's, I imagine she's probably also helping Darren with any last minute ingredient gathering, because she does help the Ligorio family with that. But yeah, when she's not doing that, she's definitely riding horses and competing in those kinds of festivities.
Fantastic. I love it. But I mean, yeah, is it the kind of bait? I'm kind of picturing it as, because the Von Tabney are very like clan and tribe, that is very much the whole neighborhood all kind of getting together for like everybody sharing meals and stuff like that. My personal stuff, but my neighborhood when I was growing up, every 4th of July, the whole neighborhood would have a block party, and we'd literally get barricades and block off the whole. Everybody had breakfast together, lunch, dinner. It was just super fun, and just every year on. So I'm just kind of picturing that as kind of being the thing of, it's not, oh, we're going to have breakfast and go to the party. It's, we're having breakfast, in the, the whole, everyone is cooking all in the same place, and like soups and eggs and all of this. And there are probably other people from other parts of the city. It's kind of just the whole, open up, and because this is an Eversync celebration, right? That it's very much a, hey, I haven't seen you in the neighborhood. Cool, welcome, blah blah blah. Do you ride? Do I ride what?
You want to learn?
A horse? God, they're huge. How do you even? Then Riona's like lands on the horse. No, I have not. And this breakfast is fantastic. Pleasure to meet you. Bye.
I imagine there's probably some form of like, the big thing for the Von Tabney is when they all gather for the huge market. I forget where the name of the location is.
The biggest one is Temple Market, which is the Founders Square and the whole area around Haven, which is the gigantic cathedral.
In Von Tabney, in the plains, in the Von Tabney culture itself, I I'm blanking on the name of the location, but it's everybody does come together at least once a year for a huge market. And I imagine like there's a small version of that going on in the foreign district also, where people who have created things will bring them and have their own stalls and stuff.
I'm gonna bet that in Eversync that basically happens twice a year. Once on signing day and once on the actual day when it happens in Montagne as well. So you kind of have the two. On the actual Montagne holiday, it's probably a little more insular and more for the community, and on signing day, it's very much everybody,
whole neighborhood's open.
Yeah, world's biggest market. Yes. Wonderful. All right. So yeah, okay, fair enough. That's good. And what is PAX up to? How is PAX working through the holiday? Is this kind of where they've gotten in a little bit of trouble with? I guess my other question is, does PAX, do they work more with the City Watch or more with like the Church Militant? Is this more of the kind of the Church Inquisition, or is this? Are you a consultant for the cops? Not a cop. I know. We keep saying.
Cop adjacent. I feel like they end up kind of getting pulled in several directions at this point. As someone who has worked multiple jobs during the holidays, or been really, they're both probably helping the city. They're probably doing several things at once, helping the City Watch look out for all the not so great people that are probably plotting. So there's probably a lot of like nighttime spent listening in the alleys and across rooftops again. And then if the church calls for them in like the early morning to help with anything with regards to that, like the spiritual side of that type of thing, I can imagine them doing that. And then any second of free time. Okay. I don't know if anybody's ever worked in like a very cushy, kiss-uppy kind of office setting before, but around Christmas time, when you have to go kiss everyone's butt, there is a lot of baking. A lot of baked goods from a lot of little places are being taken to all kinds of meetings and gatherings and things. And Pax's family owns a bakery.
Gotcha. So good.
So it's whatever they're not doing that. They're probably surviving off of coffee and tea and pure willpower.
I was
at this
about
point.
to ask, how jacked is Pax's sleep schedule right now?
Pax probably has worse dark circles than I do. Pax is just like, you see Pax from, hey, I gotta go. I got a thing. I'll be back.
I mean, yeah, how many times a week are you meeting Riona to get like herbs to keep you awake? And
I need the stuff. No, you do not need the stuff.
I absolutely need some of the root of the amphetamine plant. Yes, please.
No, you need sleep.
I can't. I have too many jobs.
What would that be called? Amphetamine? I don't. I'm bad at names.
Do not mix your uppers with your downers, kids. Don't do it.
Oh no!
Don't do it.
No, let's not do that. That's only in like moments of pure desperation. Then Pax goes to Rio and it's like, "Are you busy? I am in need of something."
It's just like, yeah. Oh, I love that. Yes, please.
They probably do like get some sleep, just probably not as nearly as much as a functioning person needs.
Right,
so many days in a row if this is going on for at least a month.
Yes. Just get a call. We won't need you this morning. Cool.
Yeah.
Sleep till like
except
7.
for they don't have phones, so Pax gets up, walks all the way to the station, walks all the way to the church. Oh, we don't need you today. Okay. Just turns around and walks back to their apartment and takes another nap.
This is why people live near where they work, folks. That's why.
Pax is in the middle, so she can get to each spot.
Mm-hmm. No sleep till signing day. Favorite Beastie Boys song.
And then there will be a
Oh.
whole week of sleep.
Right?
Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, I got to imagine from a law enforcement adjacent sort of, this is like a month of, well, it's well, I know Fat Tuesday is the day, but the whole period, all of Mardi Gras, like the month before Lent, do you hear about the Fat Tuesday and the parades and stuff, but that actually is like 6 weeks or something. That it starts like February.
And you think it stops after Lent. You're hilarious.
No, it doesn't. But
No,
but
I've been down to Mobile when it happens.
But I'm sure there are parts of Sag Harbor and the Tangle that are just the streets reek of vomit in the morning, just from the partying the night before and all of that goes along. But fortunately, Sag Harbor is half underwater, so cleaning the streets isn't that hard. But nonetheless, and of course, because Pax is in a little bit of trouble with her boss, is probably not going to be the best of assignments and things. So
nor will they probably be as lenient with the I can I have a nap? No. Okay.
Well, I mean, you're veteran enough, and I'm sure, like I said, if you have one person that doesn't care for you, that's kind of above, but you also have that you have the City Watch as an ally too. So there's plenty of veterans and other folks that you have helped out and are on your good side, or folks in the neighborhood that are willing to look out for Pax. So I imagine Pax isn't like not going to spend 6 weeks not sleep. You'll start hallucinating. It's
no.
But
some
it's more
some
of
of the coworkers at all the places, like some of Pax's siblings, are like, you go upstairs and take a nap.
Or
fall over.
There's like the shop owner that's just like, no, you sleep in the cot in the back. If anything happens in the neighborhood, we'll wake you up.
That would literally be probably Pax's mom would be like, get upstairs. I'm here to help. No, go upstairs.
Well, that's family.
Go to sleep.
I'm just saying that there are probably other people in the city are doing exactly the same thing. So
as Pax is like stalking back, are you okay? No.
But I mean, this happens. This happens year after year. It's just this year is just more, right?
Exciting.
Yeah, I mean, there's just more to it. Yeah, it's the grand signing day. It's the renewal, So that is kind of a big deal.
Yeah. It's a little amped. Is there anything?
Oh, okay.
Bye.
Owen will return in the signing 2, Electric Boogaloo. Oh,
sorry, my camera bugs out.
No, you are fine.
You're good.
You're fine. Now I guess I need to write the signing, starring Jack Nicholson and written by Stephen King. No, anyway, Denari just comes to the door with an axe. I don't know. She's here. Anyway, GM brain. Now I have to write the comedy of this. One day we'll get to Denari's Half Dozen, the musical, and my crew, cast and crew will riot. I
have a game for that.
Oh God. Of course you do. But so Pax, what's the terrible assignment that you've gotten to work security for actual signing day? Are you like just in the crowd in Temple Market trying to keep them under control, or I do
honestly,
have this.
That probably would be a bit of like it would be probably where they would be put, and it would also be a little bit of spite because Pax is not a very large person, so Pax is like being shuffled around aggressively in this crowd. Like if you've gone to any sort of an event with lots of people outside and you're not very tall and you're getting like knocked from side to side, like, oh my God, that's what's happening.
Yep. For the crew in Roll20, I've moved you to the page with the map of Eversink, and there is a red line on that map, which is essentially the parade route.
Oh goodness.
Because the goddess,
Right past my house.
the goddess theoretically starts out on Goddess's Island over here. No one has ever been there, and talked about it. But they come ashore here, and there's basically they're just a procession, kind of a imagine in like a carriage sort of thing, an open carriage kind of deal, not a litter, because that's not cool. We don't do that here. The Erebos maybe has litters that are carried by people, but here it's, more of I've got to imagine either probably still pulled by people, almost rickshaw-ish, I guess, but they're wheeled carriages, because mostly because animals are just in the city are become more of a liability than anything. You can have horses. I mean, actually, no, there probably are horse-drawn carriages, at least for a while. I think probably for through the section of Alderhall, this is a very this part of that route through Alderhall is very almost kind of Victorian-ish, like social, like being seen kind of thing. You must be seen at the parade. Those with more status will be seen on their own balcony, because of course their houses are on the parade route, because it's also along Promenade of the Swans, which is where all the prominent houses are located, etc. So, you're still noble, but maybe not as high up the chain as the people that have balconies over the parade routes are, have their kind of, I've got to imagine they're like almost like booths where there's sides. So they don't have, it's not, there's not a press of people, but it's very much oh yes, here we are, the parade, the goddess is passing by. Oh yes, we are big fans, we're very holy, we're here, right? Obviously we spent a lot of money on this, so that's good, right? We kind of, and then from Alderhall, which is where all the nobility live, into Iron Cross, which is very, very much a business district. That's almost, I feel like that's probably even more sponsored stuff, maybe, it's like their whole businesses and staff that are out, la la la, such and such, Barristers Incorporated, love the goddess, and here are all our crew, we're all out to class, it's like your interns, your whole job is just stand in the parade, be happy. Anyway, but part of the route is also on canals, so on boats and things like that. So Pax is working security. I've got to imagine that Ligario is you're probably where the deed is going to be done. I imagine you're kind of here at the Haven with probably with church officials, and like you have like one of those big portfolio carrying things with the paper and the contract in it. It's like, okay, the contract is here, ready to be signed. Can we see it? No.
So. Yeah, I think probably maybe some like, I don't know, like cousins and stuff, people who don't normally get to spend time at the Ligario estate very often are on our balcony, so that our balcony is not empty.
Right. Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing, that's a big deal for them too. It's like, oh my gosh, we get to go to the main house and we're going to be seen by the goddess. Whoa, that's awesome.
You're probably, one of my brothers is married and his wife is pregnant, so probably they came to our house so that we have somebody from the core family at the estate, because normally he lives with her at her estate.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah, I love it. Yeah. So, and Alwyn, Alwyn, you're part of the escort.
Yeah, I think Alwyn, I feel like based on like the last episode and how people were reacting to Alwyn, I think he just kind of gets like shoved to the back and is like buried in the crowd, essentially buried with like, well, in the parade.
You can't be buried in the parade if you're in the motor car. That's what I'm saying. That Alwyn, as one of the signing people, and having this is like, she picks you, because this is one basically just walks out of the water. This is what happens on signing days. It's like at dawn, just walks out of the water onto the dock, impeccably dressed, just amazing dress kind of thing, and just incredibly well done. The hair, like blonde, curled up, kind of an updo kind of thing that is coming loose in just perfect ways. Yeah, this little, just like, of course she's beautiful. She's a goddess, duh. But it's just kind of, I'm sure they're fashion writers like, oh, I hate her so much.
I was gonna say, I love
except that I don't.
The passive aggressiveness of like, oh hey, it's a goddess we work. God, she looks beautiful. God damn it.
Yeah, right. It's just like, okay, well, and it's one of those. It's always it's something new, and there are people that are sketching it. Like, this is going to drive fashion for the next 8 months. Okay, great. That kind of situation. There's some of that going on. There's always, paparazzi and stuff like that are all on the docks to get that first look and things like that, and then all along the route as well. I'm sure there's some point at which there's got to be a booth where all the floats and everybody, I don't know. They're probably marching bands, because you've got to fill the parade route with other stuff after the goddess goes or before. I don't know. I'm trying to think. It's probably like the Macy's Day Parade or some kind of holiday parade in which the goddess is like the last float or something, or whatever.
It's like holy relics. Those are probably paraded through as part of the parade. There's
Sure,
probably like dancers who do like stop and do like act out scenes from like stories about Denari.
Oh, I love it. Yes, that's so good. Yes, absolutely.
There's a giant cat float for one reason or another.
Denari loves cats because everybody loves cats.
Yeah.
The
swans, lots of swans.
And yeah, there's probably interpretations of Denari defeating the Serpentine Empire for some reason, even though that has nothing to do with the city or actual history. But just obviously they're not around, and Denari is, so she must have defeated them, right? At some point, sure. Someone has written that and made a thing, but there's commedia dell'arte. There's all kinds of that kind of thing goes on. But yeah, I think I want to say there's a point probably around. So and through Iron Cross, and you kind of go through Effigy Square and cross the bridge into what's going to be Temple Market. The parade route actually passes through Flesh Tangle Square, so that's going to kind of be fun. Many of the iron corpses that were resulting of that unfortunate incident with the giant flesh tangle have now kind of been converted into like planters and things. There are like some of them where they're like they put a pot in the hand that's reaching up, and or just they or there are like there's bunting hanging off of them and things like it's kind of weird, and just like making the best of it. And hi, let's make this square not creepy for one day, and then we can go back. But
throw a blanket over it like you do when you're trying to speak
really fast. Right?
Just throw like, some plants on it.
Plants, just like putting stuff in. So Alwyn's riding along in the carriage with Denari and a couple of church officials, and like one of the barristers of the firm that you were working for, and stuff like this. This is Alwyn. He did a lot of help with the historical part of the new contract. He's like, oh, very interesting. I'm looking forward to reading it. A pleasure to meet you.
Definitely, for the first time ever, you've met me.
Yeah, just kind of. But you're not wrong about being pushed to the back. You're probably not yet Denari, the church officials, and entourage kind of
getting like a few glares, like feeling when you see someone staring at you from the back of your head, you just feel that like burning pain right there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, probably a little bit of that. Do you get any of that from Hannibal? Question for you later. But is Riona Batman during all of this? How is Riona reacting to all the I mean, that is a lot of people that are, it's like they're not even just on the streets, because Eversink is in layers. I mean, the city goes up because it's constantly sinking. So there are people on bridges over the parade route, and again, there is just all kinds of bunting and just like signs and again, Mardi Gras combined with Macy's Day Parade kind of thing, of everyone basically celebrating. What's Riona's, and where would you wind up being? Well, you do have
She's
friends
probably, yeah, she's probably following along the rooftops, because it looks like on the map most of the area she could get from rooftop to rooftop and follow and keep an eye on the parade. And Denari's carriage.
Yeah, I mean, I think particularly if you're,
it probably wouldn't be that out of place for her to be doing that.
No,
there's probably at least a few people on the roofs.
I mean, yeah, and they're not all Von Tavni either. Many of them are Eversink folks and things like. There's more kids than you would think, and more kids than somebody in the 20th century would deem safe on the roofs of 4 stories above the parade route, things like that. It's just kind of like, but yeah, they're celebrating, and most of them cannot keep up with you, but yeah, so Pax working security in the crowd, Adairn at Haven, or probably near, or I mean, well, I guess that's another question. Would you also be in the carriage? I mean,
think so. I think probably be my oldest sister, who's gonna like actually take over running the entire business. She would probably be in the carriage.
I'm actually gonna bet that since she's taking over the business, she probably would be the one with the portfolio and the actual document there to be signed.
Oh, I was thinking that was my mom, who is still in charge.
Well,
so.
Okay, yes, fair. Okay, probably both of them. Okay. I'm thinking, maybe your mom is there, and she is going to be the one to shake the goddess's hand and hand her the pen and all this. I know your sister is carrying the documents.
Okay,
but
I guess
you'd be right along, you and Alwyn, and so kind of getting to meet the goddess is kind of weird deja vu kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely the first time we've ever met or spoken.
Absolutely, a complete pleasure. She does look a lot more done up than in the dream. So yeah, but this look kind of like, you've seen me at my beach house when I'm comfortable and can walk around in sweatpants. This is this is a official
the divine
business,
sweatpants.
Divine sweatpants. That's right. The goddess's sweatpants. I'm gonna get the swan logo on them, and they'll be big sellers.
I think that probably Cole would notice because he knows Darren pretty well at this point. But Darren's kind of like surreptitiously like looking around and like briefly studying everybody that she doesn't like recognize, trying to figure out if her letter writer is here or not.
Gotcha. Okay. Very cool. So with that said, kind of when the parade gets to kind of Effigy Square here, which is probably one of the places that PAX is working because there's a huge crowd of people, and Riona probably on the rooftop and things like that. So while the carriage is kind of going through the square, and goddess is waving to everyone, and then just kind of slumps back into the seat because Alwyn, the point of the crossbow bolt that just passed through her chest is also passed through the back of the chair and almost into your hands. She's kind of like this, and this kind of arterial spray of golden blood all over the interior of the carriage. People start going absolutely, they lose their composure, let's put it this way. So as the riot begins and the body of the goddess kind of slumps into your arms, Alwyn, we're going to go to break.
Cool. Thank you.
Ew.
Welcome back to Denari's Half Dozen. I'm Commander Pulsar, and I'm your GM for this part of the evening. A somber moment in Eversink. Just a brief second of sheer horror as their goddess on the way to sign the contract for the next 1,000 years, on the way to affirm that she's not going to sink the entire city into the swamp and kill everyone, has been shot through the chest with a crossbow. And yeah, I'm gonna just bring us back in like that. I almost want to put us in combat rounds, but y'all let me know if I need to do that. But yeah, you're yes, the goddess is like has been through the chest with a crossbow bolt. What do you do? Alan, Adarin, you're in the car.
Yeah, I think I will like grab whatever like coat or scarf or whatever I'm worried and just like throw it all in to like put on her. And I'll be like, there was prophecy. I saw this. There's a sorcerer out there. And I am going to cast a word around our carriage.
Okay.
Alan takes a minute to like register and just like very gently puts the scarf around and just like covers up the wound and tries to gently lift her up to try to get to the back of the bolt that's pinned her to the chair.
Okay, she's having trouble breathing because this is probably, what's your skill with leechcraft and with medicine there? You need Riona. Speaking of, yeah, go ahead. I'm going to go around real fast because this is kind of everybody getting split second reactions here because pretty shortly someone in the crowd is going to see this have happened. What is Riona doing? The goddess, you notice. I know
right.
Pax is going to notice. Vigilance 2.
Riona is going to get to the car or carriage as fast as she can, which is probably going to involve using some plants to get her there.
Okay. The general athletics,
or just if it's close enough to where she's at, jumping will work. If it's not, then she'll just use sorcery to get down there.
Gotcha. This part of the city, it's you probably can get there because they're like, well, you know what you'd be able to use to get down pretty quickly. This is Effigy Square. The road just passes between, through, around, under all manner of huge funerary statues. So yeah, Effigy Square, there are, again, like I said, Eversink is a city in which I guess this is maybe directed partly to the audience, that if part of the religion of Denari is that as long as there is a funerary statue made of you, you go to heaven. And if you have a lot of money, prestige, and want to be considered important for a long, long time, your funerary statue may be made out of bronze and 30 feet tall, or marble and 20 feet tall, or granite and 15, depends on how much money you have, really. So Effigy Square is where over the last thousands of years, lots of people have gotten small plots to put their funerary statues on, and the place is full of them. So yeah, you absolutely have all kinds of parkour targets to jump off of ancient Lord so-and-so and hook around the arms of Mercari Lord something or other and slide down the robes of somebody else and just kind of hop back and I'm just whatever Jackie Chan movie stunt you want to tell me about and make your general athletics roll. And that's the thing, you'd still make that roll even if sorcery is involved. So if you want to interpret that with a little plant sorcery, that is also fine. But yeah, I think probably getting from where you are down to the carriage in a hurry and maybe before anybody else in the car, that's absolutely something you can do.
Okay.
I'm gonna say probably an athletics roll, and I'm gonna say target number is probably 4. So
okay.
a rolling gumshoe is a d6 roll plus your plus whatever you can or want to add, usually by spending points out of your ability pool, and you're trying to hit that target number on a d6. So in this case, it's 4. So if Kitty wants
so I'm going to use 2 points of athletics.
Okay.
Hey, It's at 4 total.
Nice. Perfect. Excellent. Yeet number 1. Hi, guys. Hello.
Aww.
Yes.
So Riona will jump down using some of the statues and places where gaps might be a little further than she really feels like jumping, or if the footing's not quite stable. And she's going to jump down to the carriage. And when I'm able to, I will use Leechcraft / Bind Wounds.
Okay. You're probably going to get there, and of course, now the Church Millicent guards on the carriage have swords out and back. I'm like, who, I just like landing in the carriage among them, so they're already turning to like, who the hell? And it's the Secret Service, who are now completely on edge, and someone has jumped in their midst. But packs with vigilance of 2, many things that you would notice.
One thing I was also thinking, sorry.
Go ahead. No, please.
I was thinking probably one of the things I was thinking right as we decided where Pax would be was Pax would probably be because of Pax's spirit sight and ability to sense like corruption and like bad things might be kind of kept along like as a walking member. Kind of like
I like that.
Like the security guard you see at the Macy's Day Parade.
but
like
not the one that gets to ride
among
in the
everybody
car.
else.
Not the one that gets to ride in the car. You're a one of the run along agents.
I'm the one in like that's either sweating or freezing that's walking on the outside trying to keep people from trying to climb over to get to
Yeah, that sounds like the kind of duty someone would stick packs with. I like that. Yes. Yeah. That's absolutely good. But I was also going to say that with that level of vigilance, that you think you know where the shot came from. So that's what you want to do with that information. That it probably in like one of the buildings, like in basically the clock tower, essentially of this central building here in Effigy Square.
Okay, and you said we're in Effigy Square. I for some reason thought we were in Founder Square. So
Founder Square is
not even halfway there.
Yep, Founder Square. No, Founder Square is where you're going to wind up. I'm going to bring everybody over to Iron Cross for a second, and on the Roll20 map, not the audience, but players, so they know what they're talking about. But basically, Founder Square is here. It's kind of this big round, and the route, if it'll let me draw it.
Was it let you doodle? That is the question.
Just kind of was going to do this number, and you got right about there.
Okay.
That looks like I did. Maybe I shouldn't have done it in red. All right.
We know what you mean. So given that I can kind of tell where it may have come from, assuming there's probably another person with me, and there's plenty of people obviously around Denari. So if there's anybody walking the route with me that I know well enough, I may probably shout for them, be look towards the tower and try to see if I sense anything with my spirit sight as well. What am I facing? Can I tell if this is like a demon possessed person? Is this just a really powerful sorcerer? Is there any way I can gauge that with my spirit sight, or will I have to use it?
No. The spirit sight's an investigative ability. If there's a clue that can be had with spirit sight, that's one of the things. One of the things about Gumshoe is that if your investigative ability would give you information, you get that information. Yeah. Now, sometimes there is extra information to be had with a spend, and if that's something, either you prompt that and I'll do that, or I may just tell you, keep your point, there's not anything more, or I may just kind of there might be something more if you want to spend a point. That's a thing too. We kind of go back and forth with that. But yeah, if it's a clue, particularly an important clue to get to the next scene, that's one of the problems in some of these mystery games that Gumshoe tries to address, is the whole idea of gating clues behind investigation rolls. That, you need an investigation of 15. I'll roll a 14. You don't get the clue. Okay, now what do we do?
The
I don't
story of my
know.
life.
You know, so that Gumshoe doesn't do that. If the clue is there, you get it. What you do with the clue is maybe the more important thing. It's handing out information. It's like giving you a prophecy 2 months ago and trusting that you'll remember it in your notes, or not. Maybe I just put it in the scene so you'd write it down in your notes so I could point it out and go, wow, what a cool flashback. Anyway, oh, the look is priceless. I appreciate it so much. I'm gonna have to be in one of Stephanie's games so that she can get me back from it.
Just say it.
Stephanie
I have
will
inspired fear in many a player.
Oh no.
Stephanie will remember this. Uh-oh.
Little dialogue pops up in the bottom corner. Okay.
But yeah, no, I think but there is, and yeah, I think Darren, Alwyn, Riona would also feel this in a different sense, is there is absolutely some kind of dark sorcery going on up in that clock tower, but I repeat myself because all sorcery is dark sorcery.
Yeah.
But
can I see into the carriage? Can I like make eye contact with any of my like I don't know what to call you. Everybody. Like,
coworkers,
coworker, acquaintance,
cohorts,
friend, person.
cohorts,
Colleague.
Colleague, yes, that's always the closest word. There's a bug that is determined to get into my glasses.
Wards, really trying to keep us out of trouble.
Yes, parolees.
Is the cart we in? Is it like a car with a roof, or like a cart with a roof, or is it like completely
It's an open carriage.
Cool.
That's what I was like. Is it like the equivalent of the convertible with the top down?
You could see into it if you were standing on a box.
Or in a
It's
clock
not the
tower.
carriage. It's not the carriage. It's just that Pax is not very tall.
So we feel sorcery coming from the clock tower, though.
Mhm.
Like we all have the ability.
And
to
it's
feel
probably
that.
about the same time as the shot kind of thing. It's not an after effect. It's a kind of a. There's probably a little bit of a kind of even just. I mean, if I were, Oliver Stone making a film of this, there might be like the camera slows down and everybody starts to turn towards the clock tower, and then the shot comes through the carriage, and then all hell breaks loose.
I'm gonna lean over as if I'm still like waving to the crowd or whatever, and I'm gonna lean to Pax and make like really like intense eye contact with them.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
clock tower.
Oh, I know. Pax is, I'm assuming there's like some sort of teams or something. The Pax is gonna grab like whoever she's on a team with and whoever else is like sorcerer into the tower, and then I'm gonna figure out the fastest way to get up there with my little self.
Okay. I said,
think Darren's like,
you guys have
shout,
a moment.
Don't shout. Please don't shout. Create a scene.
No, it's
Well,
to the
you have
people
To
in
be
here.
fair, I think a scene started because the goddess got shot in broad daylight.
There
maybe some
wasn't.
people
There's
haven't
not a way that I
noticed.
can make this
in
much
an
worse.
open carriage. In an open carriage. And I just say about the time you guys have that clock tower moment is this like thud into the carriage as Riona just has appeared, like flipped off of some kind of statue, got it slid down and just landed in the cart. And of course, all the other guards besides Pax, well, I imagine Pax might be a little startled as well, but the rest of them are like, almost ready to go for swords because, well, this is like, yeah.
I think that like slamming down on the carriage with Riona showing up, Alan just snaps out of it and says, No, she's here to help, clear off. And I would like to get the guards to at least back down and try to clear a path towards Denari and be like, I guarantee she'll be more help than y'all if we can get a few of you to go to the clock tower.
Yeah, and I'm
Well,
getting
okay.
whoever's near my portion of the group to be like, this way.
It's a roll of D6 here.
Oh no.
All right. 4.
Okay.
For me.
That's okay. You have, this is one exchange of 4. We've all done a thing. So now we're going to 3. Because the crowd is starting to like push. The driver, I think, is like trying to get the carriage moving again. You know, there's a whole lot of where am I going? Where am I going? You know, the priest, the high priest in the car is praying like to Denari. So I guess I don't know how I'm not sure that
I don't know how that works.
I'm gonna
oh
can I do a thing?
Save yourself, I guess. Just kind of, you know, but kind of going through rote stuff, just like kind of the Denarian equivalent of a Hail Mary, which is probably more along the lines of you know, our mission statement is to help and assist. We will do this by expanding our profits and you know, assisting those in need as the coin flows, so does the, you know, the wealth of the goddess to her people. You know, it's just kind of like sort of losing. Yes.
I'm gonna grab the priest by the collar and jerk him over to Denari. I'm gonna say, make yourself useful. Pressure on the wound. Whole body pressure on the wound.
All right. Give me a sway roll to snap him out of his kind of fugue state. I mean, the target is low. I mean, it's like you need like a 3, but he needs a little kind of a snap out of it moment here.
Okay. So I'm just gonna roll. I'm not gonna put any points into it, honestly, because we get 2 dice. So
he does or he doesn't. Fair.
Yeah. I got a 4 on each of them. So
okay, yeah, that's fine. It's kind of he's going to die. Pressure on the wound.
Make yourself useful. Save your goddess.
Yeah. Am I doing this right? There's a bit of an am I doing this right?
I just like whole pressure, like
he's just pressing down. He's not really pressing the wound closed. He's
just got to put pressure on it to keep the blood inside the body.
He's
and I'm gonna like probably rip off whatever ceremonial garb he's wearing and add it to there.
I mean, she's basically
he's got like a big robe on or something is what I was thinking.
Something ostentatious, covered with as much wealth as possible. This is like gold brocade and jeweled crap that's now getting covered in glowing golden blood. Maybe it'll be worth more. I don't know.
I'd also like to yell to the driver, just like, go.
Yeah, fair enough. Because the crowd is there's murmurs, you know, of like, because the car, I mean, it was still moving just slowly, and now it's like, okay, whip it in gear, getting moving for something like.
She's still alive for now. Let's not give them another chance.
What did I see? What I thought I saw? You know, there's still that moment of did I see what I thought I saw kind of thing.
If this was D&D, I would ready an action of like, when we get to the shadows, I am peacing out. But I'm not going to do it here in front of everybody.
I just say there's going to be several points. I'm sure, like somewhere like right around here, you're going to go under a bridge or something. You know, that would be a good moment to kind of like.
Yeah.
Because I love the idea of what that would look like in the film of the show of the game or whatever. It's just kind of I would shoot that from the side, right? I think carriage with Darren, and it just
you see Darren looking up at the bridge. The thing
and it goes
under,
and then cuts, and she's not in it anymore.
And she's just not on it on the other side, and you hear the sounds, you know, whatever sound effect we decided on.
Yeah, I love doing that little cinematic kind of cut like that. But all right, so Alwyn, you've managed to push her forward far enough to get at the back of the you can kind of. You have to grab it on both because it's lodged in this. It's gone through the seat, which is.
I'm going to ask one of the guards if they can give me their sword, and we're going to try to like get the arrowhead off from the back of the seat, and at least like
he's like, no, I'm not giving my sword.
Then do it.
I see what you mean.
Does Alvin not carry a knife?
Why would he?
It's a useful, practical thing to carry.
When has
This is
Alwyn
good.
ever been useful and or practical?
Many times. Well, useful.
Okay, well, in his own way, though. I mean, I was gonna say fair point, but yeah, no. I mean, the guard, being a soldier, where it immediately figures out what you're trying to do, and doesn't cut between the goddess and the seat, but cuts behind the seat to cut the tip of the arrow off,
Good enough.
so it can be removed.
And grabs like more cloth and puts it on the back of the wound, and then just like resets it.
Okay. Well, I mean, reset. What do you mean by reset?
Like basically, like sit her back up against the chair so this way.
Okay.
her
So
own
she's
body
got
weight's
some
holding
support.
against-
Okay. I was like, and I removed the arrow. We all know that's a bad idea.
No.
Yeah, I have done first aid. I worked in the medical field. It's a
If
nightmare
you
out there.
learn nothing by watching this show, let it be this. Do not remove anything from a puncture wound. Period.
Right.
Leave it
Yeah.
in. Always.
And the coarser you grind your
Magic.
coffee, the more acidic it will be.
Two things you'll learn from Denari's half dozen.
And don't mix your uppers and your downers.
That's
Three
that's
things.
Practical
Amazing.
life advice here on Denari's half dozen.
Among the many things you will learn. There we go.
But
you wanted a journal idea for merch. There's our
Oh god.
life
okay.
advice from Denari's half dozen. Anyway,
that
yes.
shirt will probably get us some looks and they walk into the nearest grocery store.
Never do sorcery. It never turns out well.
but
So yeah,
looking-
okay.
Can I look at the arrowhead now that that's been shot, the bolt head, and see if
Mhm.
there's like any kind of outside of the gold blood? Was there any additional fluid? Does it have like anything weird looking about it? Maybe like a poison of some kind, or was this just a
Okay.
imbued it with sorcery? Like, is there any kind of point of corruption in there?
Okay. There's a lot of good questions there. I like what you've done. We'll go with that in a second. Riona. So yeah, Alwyn, with the help of a guard, has gotten the point of the arrow dislodged from the seat. So it's possible, so you've got that mobility. The goddess is, well, the sounds that they are making, probably blood in the lungs. So it's probably gone through a lung and not the heart, which is good news. At any rate,
Survivable.
it's, and yeah, she kind of looks at you and says like, I got shot.
Yeah.
I've never been shot.
There's always a first. Rihanna's gonna ignore the guards around her who are like, what are you doing here?
Right.
And I would like to use Leechcraft and or Bind Wounds to help her.
Well, I guess that's my question. Which would you like to do? I mean, well, Leechcraft is an investigative ability, so that's kind of one of those.
Yeah.
It makes Bind Wounds powerful. You can spend a point, and it will add you a die, just like adding an investigative ability to any check. So, I mean, that is absolutely a thing. From a mechanical standpoint, she is kind of the equivalent of it -7. She's basically where
Okay.
Alwyn was.
Lives. This will be fine.
Yeah,
He
that's fine.
survived.
I lived.
Right?
I have a question about offering aid in this moment. Because Denari is a goddess of commerce and trade, can I aid by using wealth? Like trying to patch wounds by using whatever skills Riona has and leech crafting bind wounds with gold.
I was gonna say, how is that? So okay, cool. So you're actually using. Well, I was gonna say where you're gonna get gold cloth, but I think I know in the
Mhm.
car. Okay. I mean, it's still teamwork. So that is a thing where you can do the thing. Sure. Okay. So I'm thinking to assist. So you can just basically pay my. So what you're asking is if you can pay money out of your wealth, that you can pay points out of your wealth pool instead of a general ability.
Yeah, that was my thinking. Just because
She's the god of commerce.
Yeah.
I like it, actually. I think
I would like to buy into
in
your
this
life.
case, yes.
How much for a share of your health?
I like it. I think that's awesome. Yes, I think that works. How much wealth would you like to spend to add to Riona's roll?
6.
Okay. Riona, Alwyn has just made himself destitute again to give you a +5 on this roll.
I have wealth of 5 left. I'm fine. I don't spend that much.
But you would have had to spend probably 3 on a lifestyle. So you have 2 left. So next month, you're going to be living in a box, but that's the life of an adventurer. It's okay.
All right, so what am I going to be rolling for this?
Okay. You're wanting to, I'm going to say, so you're wanting to stabilize it.
Yeah.
It's probably difficult because she's a goddess.
Yeah,
So,
she'd at least appreciate not dying, even if Riona doesn't actually worship her.
correct. I think there's a little bit of, does the anatomy knowledge I have work on divine beings? But yeah, I think probably I'm going to say difficulty here is probably 5.
Okay.
So you're probably going to succeed, but it's a matter of how much. And a critical success might give more health back. Basically, Alwyn's help is going to make sure that we succeed because you need a 5 and you just got a +5 for him.
Ooh, actually, no. I'm just curious if it's going to work now because maybe I did pay in too much for this because I don't know if I want to keep that much on him.
Preparedness?
Yeah.
I think what it is kind of grabbing the priest's robes. This is, I owe you for these.
Mm-hmm.
He's probably got like gold necklace and like signs of wealth on him if he's a high enough priest to be in the guard with Denari.
And I'm thinking, if nothing else, just like the stole is cloth of gold and stuff like that, where it's the gold thread woven and all this kind of other stuff, because that's the whole point. He's a priest. He's a market priest of the goddess of commerce. So this is the holiest day in the last 1,000 years. So if you've got it, you fucking flaunt it today. So yeah, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So
do you want to adjust how much you're spending? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Cole, do you want to adjust how much Alwyn is spending out of that pool?
I'm gonna take back 2, so instead of 6, it's gonna be 4.
So, okay, you're spending 4, so that's a +3 to Riona's roll. Yep.
Okay. Well, I have 2 points of leechcraft, so I might as well use them to get a +6 to my roll. So I have a +9.
Okay. We need a 5. So if you roll a 1 or better, that's going to be a 10.
I rolled a 4, so I have a 13.
All right. Well, that is a critical success. So, all right. So, so roll your 2d6. I believe it's 2d6 plus 1 for bind wounds. Is that how much health points you get back? If I remember right, you tell me.
Bind wounds is 2 per point spent.
Okay,
it's
so,
not actually a roll.
That's what. No, I like it though. I think I like the roll for like being able to, because of the questionable. But it turns out the anatomy is spot on human.
She's in human form, so.
In fact, it's like human ideal. There are no flaws on. Well, there's now 1 flaw in this body. Well, 2. 1 going in, 1 coming out.
2
flaws on this body. Maybe just 1 flaw connected from point A. Anyway, you get the idea. 1 flaw being introduced by somebody else. But yeah, I think though, how many? So you spent.
I spent 2 points of leechcraft.
So that's 6.
Yeah.
And 3 from I was 12. So yeah, okay.
So the roll total was a 14. So
that'll put them, if they were a human, that'll put them at -1, which is fine. Because the thing is, going from that wounded, health bind wounds is less helpful when you're that hurt, when you're mortally wounded, as Alwyn found out. And I assume at some point of that is pulling the arrow out. And when you do, you take a couple of, I'm going to say you'll take a point of damage yourself as you get an electric shock, like that you've pulled something out. It's like when you move across the room or you do like the amber rod and you get that static electricity. This is a very strong pop because it hurts. This is just kind of not an armor thing, because armor is not going to help you with electricity, but it's more of a like a little lightning bolt kind of thing. At Alwyn, you'll notice that the arrow is kind of broadhead, kind of like the way a modern broadhead is, where it's like the edge and there's kind of a space, and in that space is a crystal that is now cloudy and cracked, probably because it's done what it was supposed to do.
Alwyn's going to tell Rihanna, I think the wound was the least of our worries. Can I get like a closer look at the crystal and see what, like, do I have any knowledge, like what it used to be used for? Could I consult my staff?
Yeah, that's some forgotten lore there too.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Aki, you're headed towards the clock tower.
Yeah, unless whomever I'm going after starts moving, because I'm trying to track the spirit of whoever that is and lead whomever's following me. Unless am I YOLOing this by myself?
No, I don't think you're trying to solo this. I think there's probably like 3 other city watchmen with you that are, I mean, this is pretty much by definition a little bit taller than you, if not a head taller. One of them is okay. Basically, yeah, but two of them are like basically the 2 biggest guys on the street. It's like clock tower, and they're like, yes, with us, and just kind of like are sort of plowing the way for you. It's like, everybody move. Not kind of the Fezzik thing, unfortunately. That would be a little strong, but you are getting a little bit of that effect, because when they get close enough, they're like, get out of the way.
Yeah,
church business.
Yep, just as quickly as we can get to wherever this person is, because I'm not 100% focused on where I'm at the moment. I'm focusing on whatever's up there, to make sure if it kind of like, when you have a tracker on, like, with this tracker on the bottom of the car of the spy movie, I'm tracking to make sure they don't start trying to bop away. Because sorcerers do things, and this is what I do. Is I'm the one that goes and finds the sorcerers.
Okay.
Or finds the people that do bad things.
Miss Spirit Sight 3. What happens when you're so focused on this that you step out of the real world and into the spirit world of this place? What does that look like from everybody else's standpoint? There's probably a moment where just those 3 guys are leading a path. Out of the way, church business, whack. Church business being the name of his truncheon. And just all of a sudden, there's nobody. You're just not there anymore, because you're in Effigy Square all by yourself at night.
Oh, so have I been yoinked, or have I been
Spirit Sight 3, baby? Sometimes that just happens.
Huh. just out of curiosity, when you just kind of pop over, does your body go with you, or is Pax just kind of going, huh?
It has, because remember, this is one of the problems you had about getting lost over here before, because sometimes it's tricky to get back. Remember?
My brain.
So
I'm sorry. This page just froze. What?
Yeah, that was one of the things that this has happened once before to PAX, and nearly got stuck on this side, and getting back was kind of tricky.
I feel like it is kind of that. My brain's going, Marvel time. We're separating the spirit from the body, and so Pax's body just kind of like stops, and eyes roll back, and their spirit is there, and there is a moment of just pure panic, and Pax is like, no, and then again, it's been probably about 15 years since that happened. So Pax trying to calm themselves down and be like, I can't worry about this right now. I'll worry about.
So Pax was a teenager when that happened?
Yeah, Pax was very little.
Okay, awesome. That's great. Okay.
I thought I told you that.
So,
did I not?
I'm math is hard.
Yeah.
Doing numbers
it's like
in
12,
my head.
14 years old, somewhere in there.
Okay. Perfect. So I mean, and there's probably that moment of 14-year-old lost in the spirit world.
Just as terrifying then as it is now.
And y'all can watch the Miyazaki movie on Netflix. But no, probably not. But this time, starting to panic, and you see a creature, a larger than man size, jump from that clock tower all the way from the clock tower here to the roof of this building here, and start running in this direction, just kind of more towards the Temple Market.
I'm gonna assume adrenaline, if it hasn't kicked in already, is kicked in now, and they are just gonna do their best to just hail.
Yep, I love that.
Hope that somebody else who also has some sort of spirit side ends up showing up so they can see or sense or something. I don't know how many other people there are at Pax's level, but maybe they're like, I hope somebody sees this. Maybe Alwyn, maybe somebody, because I'm gonna do this, but I don't know how to get back.
So Alwyn, speaking of Alwyn with some level of spirit sight, there's ripple's not the right word, but kind of, I guess the kind of ripple you'd get if you're in a fishing boat and somebody dropped a Volkswagen in the lake over there. It's kind of one of those kind of ripples from spirit energy of somebody just, I don't know, tripped and fell into the spirit world at high velocity just now over that way. They're not trying to put the goddess back together though, but you got a lot going on. So that brings us to 2. The carriage is starting to move forward. The goddess is just kind of eyes fluttered a little bit. Is like, I can't move my arms and legs right now. Is that a normal thing? I mean, I've never had a problem with that. I mean, well, again, this is only the 1,000th time I've had this physical form, so it's just weird.
Riona might know more, but I think you're dealing with shock and your body's worn out. And I'm going to pull out the protective ward as well and be like, my friend put one up, but can you hold on to this? And we're going to just go ahead and get moving. And I'm going to look back at that crystal at the same time. And be like, do you know anyone with lightning who has a thing against you?
I mean, there's lots of gods. We fight all the time. Riona, you would know she, as a person, this person has lost a lot of blood. And yes, probably shock. Because, getting shot in the lungs shouldn't make you not be able to use your arms and legs.
Mhm.
Other than just general, you have been shot in the lungs and should probably sit down and rest, period. And not be doing a lot of arm and leg stuff.
Mhm.
But I feel like probably this is the point where Denari kind of turns around and does the Teddy Roosevelt thing where they do the speech of "I have just been shot." But I love that story. But anyway,
We passed some
forgotten
shadows.
lore.
Yeah. Do I just roll Forgotten Lore?
You don't have to roll. You just say, "What would I know from forgotten lore?" And I say,
Yeah.
"Well, let me tell you." So one of the gods that probably comes to mind would be a god of the sea and a god of storms, whose name is, I've got it in my notes, is Chotis. CHO or Chotis. Chotis. It's a CH. So it's got that kind of a ka.
Ka sound. Chotis.
Yeah, kind of a Chotis. And what's my notes on that?
I'm guessing would Alan have thought about this as what was this land? Who did own this land before Denari came in and took it over outside of the Serpentine Empire?
Serpentine Empire. Honestly, this before Denari, there wasn't land here,
or at least who owned the region. If it's just if it was all water, and considering Chotis is a god of sea and storm, maybe he had a favorite storm spot.
But the area, the river Serpentine would have before the rise of Eversink would have been in lots of people's hands. Capria would have fought over it with Min, with Fontavni, with others, because it's a trade. It's the opening of a trade route. Who controls the mouth of the river controls the river, kind of thing. So, if anything, it's that Kiltus being a god of storms, it may just simply be petty and not petty, but just. Denari protects the city from storm. It's a thing that that how dare you not let me destroy your city with a hurricane, kind of thing. Or just I don't know. I mean, but there is lightning theme in here. There's kind of the crystal. The cloudiness is either from being busted, like an old like a flash bulb kind of thing. Just kind of it's got that kind of cloudiness to it. So there's probably some kind of charged energy in it that's gone now. But very much a lightning thing. And I'm trying to think if there might be other lightning gods that might be a problem.
With the crystal having gone through her, just looking it over, does it look like part of her insides were roasted through lightning and that's what did most of the damage? Or is there another effect I should be worried about? Just
I would like to. What level of leechcraft do you have that's going to tell you this information? Because I mean, that's a good theory.
Goose egg.
Okay,
but I can pitch that to Riona.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I think the goddess should sit down.
She had better be sitting already.
Yeah, she was, because she slumped backwards in her seat. So
right,
she's not standing. Riona's not going to let her stand up.
Yeah. I'm going to look at the driver and be like, how soon till we get to the river? Actually, looking at the route, can we change from the river? Can we get away from the canals? Because I have a worse feeling about that place. Yeah. Everything's covered by water.
Yeah, I mean, can you get away from the canals in Eversink? Short answer, no.
Good luck.
Longer answer, really no. You can, I mean, there are places where this route is like they're covered in stuff, but there are, in fact, there's probably, I want to say that there is probably a road also, like that's not what I want to do. Like probably that goes kind of here as well, but it's covered, like buildings are just built up over it. So that's a more direct, you could probably get to, this part of the map and but the other part of that is there's a huge press of people, right?
Yeah.
Right between you and there, because that was the corner of the parade route. So you're going to have to, how are you convincing the driver to just cut through the crowd there?
That's the thing. Would it even work out? Is Alan's thought process is just like it would end up endangering more people, and that's another thing he'd be worried about.
Yeah. The priest is starting to get a little upset too. So she has to live. She has to live. She has to sign. It has to be signed.
Does it have to be signed today?
The contract's up today.
What is this giant building we're next to again?
This in Effigy Square, this is, well, there is like I don't know that there's, there is a clock there. It is a gift from the Republic of Kame. It's like a four-faced kind of Big Ben style clock.
Oh, so that is the clock tower. Okay.
But below it, there again, these little doohickeys. These are all statues at the four corners there. There are other smaller statues, but they're these big, basically the colonnades and stuff. It's like a column kind of thing, but all the columns have funerary statues in them that are like doing this, where they're holding up the thing.
Right. But it's probably not a building we want to take her into, if that's where her attempted assassin was.
Where probably don't want to take her in there. No.
Okay.
But Denari's like, he's right. I need to get to Haven, which is the main church in Temple Market Square.
Yeah. So yell that. I would like to state that I don't think Adarin is in the carriage for any of this.
Yeah.
I think as soon as they passed it, I was just gone. I didn't say anything. I was just gone. Oh. I am gonna do a repeat of before, and I'm just gonna shadow hop as fast as possible to get up to the top of the clock tower. Okay. I'm going right there. It's not smart, but
fantastic.
Big risk, big reward, right?
I love it. Well, I mean, we're on 2, so
What you gonna do?
That's fantastic. So yes, just I mean, inside that is going to be shadowed as hell, but it is more of a kind of getting a line of sight on it. So maybe like a bridge underhang, like above where you are, so you can kind of see.
Yeah, I feel like the instant we pass over some shadow, like through some shadows, or with like even honestly just being out of sight of the vast majority of the crowd or whatever, like bam, I'm just not there. And I'd like to do a thing when I get into the top, if it's possible.
Okay.
Because I imagine the inside of the building's probably fairly shadowy, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's daytime, so there's like, but there's shadows of the columns from. There's all kinds of long dark shadows up in here.
Can I use the shadows like a sense? Like, can I like use them the way that like, I don't know, like certain animals use magnetic fields or vibrations or antenna or something, just like as a sense organ almost to like feel where this person is.
Oh, I was gonna say, what kind of information are you looking for?
I don't know where they are.
But I mean, yeah, I was gonna say you would. I mean, it's magic of shadow. If you want to know where their shadow is, I mean, it would be a lot easier if you knew their true name, but we don't. So you can kind of like, just in a broad sense, tell me where all the people's shadows are in this place, and you'll probably get some information
Like,
returned from that.
Imagine it's probably somebody moving pretty quickly. Yeah. So trying to sense. As soon as I hit like to the top of the building, just be still and like kind of feel through the shadows where this person likely is.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a bit of there's probably a moment of exactly where they are. Turn and look, and they are at a window, on basically opposite where you are in the building, and you get a really good look at them, and they get a zip line and are off.
I want to grab them with the shadow. Try and grab them.
Okay.
So I am going to spend a point of corruption because I want this to work.
Excellent. A point of corruption on the holiest of days in the clock tower in Effigy Square.
In pursuit of the person who tried to kill the goddess.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get you.
Before it goes wrong, and you are the giant burst of corruption from your vision.
Oh man, that's so good.
The thought did occur to me. So, that's okay. It's okay.
No, it's fine. It'll be Alan who
never
does it
once
instead.
had to pay for anything, so in any serious way.
I mean, I'm also considering using sorcery, so it could be any of us.
Yeah, no, I know. Or just everybody going off at once and just.
Yeah.
I go to the spirit world for 1 second, and all three of them.
You are 90% of
all
our
three of
impulse
us
control.
let loose.
As soon as you're not around to supervise them.
So I just rolled a 1d6 and then I add 3 from the corruption? Because since it's an investigative ability?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, okay.
Yes.
What is my target number? Am I allowed to know that?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's 4. I think 4 is reasonable here.
Okay.
But yeah. I don't know if you'll have as good a whole. All right, yeah. No, I have ideas for. I'm like, do you want a devil's bargain? But sorry, that's a different game. That's on Sunday, if I'm not mistaken. So you watch Fires in the Dark, where they're playing Blades in the Dark.
Also, there's nothing stopping you from giving us a devil's bargain. You can make your own rules.
I can make my own rules.
I do that with players sometimes just because it's fun.
No, I think that using the shadows to grab them is going to be great until they're out in direct sunlight, and then it's going to be that hold is going to be maybe a little more tenuous. So
yeah, I just want to pull them in, basically try to grab them as they're leaving the window, kind of. So all right.
I believe you're banishing him to the shadow realm.
Hans is already in the shadow realm.
Oh, I rolled a 5 plus the 3 makes it 8.
Okay. So yeah, this guy gets on the little zip line and goes zip,
and just jerk him back into the building.
Okay. All right.
I keep holding them with the shadows. I haven't let go of the shadows. The shadows are still holding them.
Okay, I got you. But yeah, Aki, this figure in the spirit realm is rooftop running towards Haven, which a lot of this part of the city is how it is because history of the place. These buildings have been here for a long time, particularly in Effigy Square. So a lot of that isn't changed. Places do look a little different because time moves weird and differently in the spirit realm, and it's kind of almost the memory of the place. So, there are buildings that have sunk in the actual world and haven't in the spirit, and vice versa.
It's
that kind
weirdly
of thing.
taller buildings here or something.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, exactly. Particularly in the almost the kind of the creepy sense of things just appear to kind of stretch up and that sort of thing. It's but yeah, guys getting away.
I was trying to do some like quick rereading of the spirit sight like ability and what you can do with it. Oh, there's 3.
Yep, eat number 3, I think.
That's 3. Yeah. I don't know why I know how many times you've eaten, but
we do. We need a yeet counter.
yes.
I need a yeet counter anyway.
But I was trying to read. I was like, is there anything I could do to like manipulate it in any way? But all I can do is like go put it back out in the real world. And I think that may cause more problems than it would help. In some regards, I don't know what you're saying. I'm not good at lip reading. And you're muted. But I was like, I don't know if there's any way I could like hold person to its spirit, but I don't think there's a way to do that. All I see is that it said I could take away something as substantial for a seed.
Right. If there's that's
that
one of the
be.
things in the spirit world. Yeah, you're basically in a foot chase.
Yeah.
Is where you're at.
So I have my spiritual crossbow.
You have everything that's on you. Mm-hmm.
Take their sense of direction. That would be so nice.
You have all of your stuff.
Here's a thought. If time moves differently here, and I know that it's been said that based off of our interactions with Given, you can see people that have spirit sight. You can kind of tell where they are, living people that have it, if you're in the spirit world. If I'm moving and time's moving differently, is there any way I can catch up with all? Like enough to where he could hear me, almost like, you know, that weird echoey, in an echoey way.
I mean, like use his... you're in the spirit world. All one can hear spirits. I mean, if you wanted to do that, I think it's an investigative ability for him too. So that's I don't see any reason why you wouldn't be able to do something along that.
Yeah, and I'm assuming it's like some sort of a demon tracing it down, or what kind of creature or something. What does it look like?
It looks like a person, a very tall, a taller, lankier person, kind of embedded in wind and storm and rain, and just like a very localized storm in person form.
Okay, because my brain's been thinking Little Nightmares 2 like visuals for this the entire time. Anyway,
I mean,
but with the thin man and everything. Anyway,
I mean, yeah.
So just whenever I can realize that I'm roughly close enough where Alvin can hear me, just Pax's voice would come up in that echoey way. Just this, like the spirit demon's trailing it. The spirit demon's trailing you. Like it's just like that echoey kind of like when the sound and audio goes back and forth from side to side.
So Alan, you get a little bit of that. The spirit demon is trailing you, and no context. And that's Pax's voice.
The wind demon's trailing you. That's it.
Okay, that's a lot of
trailing you.
Just thought you ought to know.
So okay. So, but I need you to are you going to try and keep up with this thing?
Like, yeah, I'd probably try to keep up with it. If I get a chance to get a quick shot off with my spirit cross version of my crossbow, I'll try that. But if I need to roll athletics or something, I'll do that first.
Okay. So when a chase happens when one character or group of characters is trying to catch up with another, both roll a difficulty 4 chase test against a key ability that varies based on the nature of the chase. But I think athletics here is appropriate because it is essentially a foot chase. When they say that the skill varies is if you're like, you could do boat races, in which case maybe sailing or something would be a driving or something like that would be appropriate. Or it could be you can kind of do these chases as who can find the important piece of information in the library first, in which case maybe Forgotten Lore would be the chase skill. But in this case, athletics. If you want to do something that isn't an athletics test, that's fine. Like using warfare to shoot them, all that good stuff. It raises the difficulty of the chase test that round. You can do both. So if you're rolling difficulty 4 to stay in the chase, if you were to shoot them and then try and continue to stay in the chase, the difficulty becomes 6. It's fine. It's hard to run and kill someone at the same time. You know, it's not easy.
Yeah, I think we'll just stick for trailing right now.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, I'm assuming proximity-wise, it's like I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. I don't know how much I can see, like the chariot itself. But I'm just like just wanted to let him know and then keep an eye on it. And then if it starts coming towards it, that's when I would attack. Is basically like doing what I was doing before with the trailing of the car, but this time in a different dimension.
Okay.
And with Alvin as my like focus point that I'm following because I can't see anything else.
Right. I mean, you know, Alwyn is at this point actually probably, y'all are almost headed in, not in different, but anyway, give me that athletics roll. Tell me how you did. And do you want to spend any points to, your target number is 4. So you let me know if you want to spend any points to do anything there.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and spend 2 points of athletics.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Don't fail me. Unicorn dice.
That said also, I need to.
That's a 4.
Nice. Okay. Still in it.
Barely.
That said, I want to drop. I'm gonna put 5 refresh tokens on the board for y'all because you kept the goddess alive. It might have been awkward otherwise.
We're alive for now.
I mean, yeah, this is very much stable condition in the ambulance on the way to the hospital. You know, somebody called GW, for the president's coming in, kind of, you know, get the surgical team prepared, kind of, yeah. So very good. Okay.
Ooh, random last thought before we move on. Sorry. Can we see Denari in this realm? In the same sense that I can, in the same sense that I can see them and like I can see any ghosts and I can sense Alwyn. Can I do the same?
I think this would be something that's probably new to PAX. I don't know if they've ever looked into the spirit realm on signing day, right? Because Denari would normally be like looking at the sun in the spirit realm, but it is now looking at the sun kind of during a solar eclipse, in that, you know, you could maybe kind of actually see details if you cover your, you know what I mean?
Like doing this to talk to Alwyn is just like, by the way.
Yeah, maybe that's why it doesn't necessarily come across. I can't
look at you at the moment.
But yeah, it's just, it is. No, it's bright that way, but not anywhere near as bright as you think it probably should be. That light is dimming, but yeah, I think that, has everybody had a chance to act? Brianna, I think you've had a chance to do a thing.
I don't remember.
You did Leechcraft last turn.
I don't think this new round, I don't think Rihanna's had a chance to go.
No, I don't think so either. So yeah. So in the carriage, Denari is stable. I mean, as far as the wound, you've done what you can for that wound. A lot of that is and even some magic. Yes, you haven't spent any corruption though. So there's mostly okay, cool. It's
Not yet.
so it's just straight leash grab. You've done. There has been some magic involved just with the cloth of gold and the using wealth for bandage kind of situation, but that's less your magic than hers. The body, if this were a person, they're still in critical condition, but probably not like dying. This isn't someone that is taking their last breaths in the car, but she's still very incredibly more weak than they should be. And yeah.
Would she heal if she went back to the divine realm? Would that be like a safe place that would like actually stabilize her more?
I mean, probably. I mean, one might argue that's what happens when the body dies, but we don't know. I don't know. She's never been shot before. Yeah, I mean, I think the priest is like, this is completely unprecedented. I don't know what happens. What happens? She's got to live. She has to sign.
Oh,
he's starting to spiral again.
Riona just looks at him like, you're not helping.
I'm gonna be like, you stop talking. Riona, Pax let me know there's something following us.
Okay.
I have an idea, but I'm gonna wait.
I also have an idea.
Okay. You get to do something, then we go to one.
So Denari is stable, or as stable as I can get her without using a bunch of bind wounds. Riona is, how many people are in this car? Carriage, whatever.
Right now, probably I'm gonna say driver in like on like that baseboard, like in the front, and with them a guard. Inside, like probably priest, Denari, Alwyn. Darren was here. You. And there were two guards on the sideboard that are kind of they're still there, they're trying to be there and protective of the guards. So really it's just you, priest, Denari, Alwyn, so 4.
Okay.
And driver kind of like a little ahead. It's like seat and seat, I think, kind of thing.
So she's gonna tell Alwyn and the priest to move, and then she's going to pull a handful of seeds out of her pouch and sprinkle them around Denari.
Okay.
And then I'm at least using sorcery. I don't know if I need to use corruption for this. I'm going to create a topiary around Denari.
Okay.
With like thicker wood immediately around her to create a wall to protect her.
Okay.
And the outside, it's going to be as close as Riona can get it, a recreation of Denari. So it looks like a topiary of Denari. So that way there's a float of some kind. It's just slightly larger than life, so that way it doesn't get knocked off when we go under a building. But yeah, I'm going to do that.
Yes, decapitating plant Denari would probably be poor optics going under a bridge. But okay, fair enough.
There's something there, so the people that we pass now who don't know what happened don't see that Denari is in critical condition.
No, yeah, it's just the parade is going like 90 miles an hour now because they're just this kid's driver is not going slow. But yeah, okay. That really honestly just feels like making a ward with really cool flavor.
She has 3 wards on her now.
Yeah,
we want her to be super safe.
I don't have Forgotten Lore to use for reward though.
Okay, but you do. Let's see.
I do have sorcery and corruption that I could use.
You let me use sorcery for it last time, so
yeah. No, I'm fine with using sorcery. I'm just wondering that I think. Don't you have? I'm just wondering if you had anything plant related, just in general abilities and things. But yeah, no, that's fine. If you want to spend a point of corrupt, or if you want to spend that corruption point for that is fine. Or I would even say wilderness mastery in this case. I would be fine with, because that's kind of as far as the being that familiar with like the nature of like brambles and being able to kind of form that protective. You sold me on it. That's all. That's.
I am gonna go ahead and use the corruption because this seems
Okay.
It seems more interesting.
Oh no, it is. It's super fun, and there is the health check with corruption.
Yep.
That I think
I am internalizing it.
Okay. Yeah, Stephanie, I guess that was my question
Externalizing
from
it
earlier.
probably won't help.
Externalizing it right here under his.
Right in front of a
Localized
priest and
entirely
a
with-
guard.
In front of Denari, that would hurt.
At this time of
That
year,
is a one.
localized entirely within this carriage.
So that's the one on my corruption check,
Okay.
which I think is a
one.
fail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again,
that would
I
be.
think I rolled a 1 last time.
Oh no.
Because it's
So
3 plus the number of points you spend.
yes, you spent 1, so it's your target number is 4 on that. So yeah.
Cool.
Basically, all that means is that the physical change on your body would be noticeable to some.
Mm-hmm.
Since you
so
internalize that corruption.
From the last time I failed my internalizing corruption check, Riona got a it looks like a tattoo of a vine spiraling down her arm. There's a second vine down her arm now. So it's 2 vines spiraling down her arm.
Okay. I mean, now this is something that would maybe be more obvious. So are these vines like, I don't know, like even maybe a different texture? That they are more like literally like vines, that are like in the arm.
At a glance, they look like tattoos, but they're not tattoos.
Yeah. Very good. And Stephanie, earlier for the corruption you did before, did you make that check?
I have not yet made it.
Okay.
But I am going to internalize it.
Okay.
We'll
go ahead and take care of that real quick while we're doing it.
Now I'm going to spend 2 points of health
Okay.
to try and make it.
Okay. Okay.
It's fine.
No,
it's
that's
fine.
good.
It's fine.
I love it.
I still failed. I got a 3.
Wait. So.
I have to hit a
Hang on.
4 to succeed.
Right. But you spent 2 points of health. So you also rolled a 1 on the d6. Okay.
Boof.
Yes. I mean, no, it's not. That's terrible. That's awful.
Fine.
Only 2 of us look like sorcerers. Can you guess which one of us? I'll give you a hint.
I mean, so far I've just got, everything I have is stuff I mostly cover up. But I've been holding on to this one and it feels dramatically appropriate.
Sure. Confronting the person that shot the goddess, yeah.
Yeah, I think my eyes go from being black. So like I have like black eyes. And I think they go to being like they're still dark, but they're not as dark as they used to be. And I think it becomes pretty obvious now that I don't have round pupils anymore. I have vertical slit pupils. Like a snake.
Man. Nice. Okay. Someone's gonna have to invent contact lenses quick.
No, it's fine.
She's just gonna be one of those people that wears sunglasses indoors from now on. That's all.
Yeah.
She just has to take illusions as a new sphere, and then it doesn't
Just like
matter.
a little
She
round-
can cover it up.
Those little tiny round Victorian sunglasses.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd
Start
be
wearing
cool.
a veil in public.
Yeah.
Can I
don't want to
take
get
my
married.
turn?
This is the I don't want to get married mail. No, really, nothing to do with my eye. Why do you ask?
Can I take my turn here?
Yeah,
Is that cool?
absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So what does this person look like? That
Do you remember last session? The guy with the pamphlets and and was preaching on the street corner and telling Alwyn that he shouldn't have to worry about his sorcery and yeah,
cool.
it's the guy.
Okay. I am going to just stalk up to him, and I'm gonna grab the sides of his face and tilt it up to look at me, because I picture him like kind of like on his knees from the shadows ripping him in so hard.
Yeah, you just like yanked him across the room. If he doesn't have to wind up standing, that's not up to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the sides of his head and tilt his head up to look at me, and I'm gonna look at him, and my eyes are just gonna flood completely black, and he's gonna feel like he's falling forward into the nothingness. And I'm gonna use secrets to rip out of his mind everything related to this plot to kill the goddess.
All right.
Shall I roll for it?
I think so. I think that's pretty great. So yeah, no, I mean, this is an investigation check. You don't have to roll for that. You just get information. You're using corruption. Are you using corruption?
No.
Well,
I was just gonna use points of sorcery.
There's a difference between using corruption, you basically using your sorcery, and spending corruption. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I wasn't planning to spend the point of corruption.
Right. If you have the appropriate investigative ability, and I think given the way this is described, sorcery is the appropriate investigative ability. Or corruption, using the spheres to get this information. That feels definitely like this is probably the investigative ability, but getting information using the investigative ability and spending are different. Right. So I mean, hell. No charm. I mean, you've got charm, but that does not seem appropriate.
No.
Yeah, no, I don't think I think this is definitely corruption to get information kind of thing. So yeah.
So I was just gonna do like the general ability roll and spend points from sorcery for this. Is that a thing I can do?
You can, but you don't have to.
Oh, okay. All right. So this is a thing that just happens. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, this is a thing that you can do because you've got 2 levels of corruption and sorcery, and you just fuck with your eyes. I mean, that's you're using, this is all kind of part of the whole using these dark tentacles. And I mean, I really love how Adarin gets both of her spheres working together. This deck has a lot of good synergy in both black and blue.
Oh God, Darren would be a black-blue player.
She would totally be Demir.
Yep.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Me personally, I'm a red-white. I'm here to trample all over you because I got no patience for nothing.
For those who don't understand what we're talking about Magic the Gathering decks.
Yeah, this has suddenly turned into a Magic the Gathering stream. Sorry, that's my fault.
If you would like more Magic the Gathering, we typically stream it every Wednesday, except this Wednesday because one of our players has other shit going on. Thank you for your time.
Anyway, but check back with us. We do play on Huntsman Hydra a bunch. Anyway. Sorry, I didn't mean to sidetrack us. That's my fault.
No, it's good.
But yeah, I mean, that's definitely has big Demir energy. But yeah, no, okay. So the inside of this guy's head is chaotic. That you get memories kind of meeting. There's places, there's a bathhouse, there are several fragmented memories. You can tell they're different moments in time because of different people these are all again, I kind of to use cinematic imagery again, you've got the David Fincher kind of 7-ish jump cut kind of stuff where he's also messing with Dutch angles and stuff inserted into the film reel and things like that. It's flash images and things, very, very Fight Club, very Seven kind of chaoticness going on in this guy's head. But there's several moments of ritual bathing and cleansing, and then worship. There's a lot of lightning imagery, but in between these flashes, it is like being in the street during a hurricane kind of thing in Florida. With you are kind of mentally buffeted by wind, and you can hear thunder and flashes of lightning, and when those lightning flashes are kind of when you get these scenes and fragments, and there is less and less left of this guy. That you get pictures of moments of the crossbow, which is on the floor in the room, and it's a kind of a specialized crossbow and expensive just in that it's oversized to be able to shoot a long way, but it isn't anything enchanted. You could as a sorcerer kind of like, oh, enchanted shit. Yes, hello. That's that would get attention. The bolt, however, is like in a box, and you see it. It is the shaft on it is standard in wood, but the crystal in the blade, which you have seen Alwyn hold up, but in this, the crystal isn't cloudy. It's clear and dark blue, and there is lightning shooting through it, kind of bouncing around inside of it. It's kind of cross between a plasma ball and one of those things where lightning will kind of zap up. Kind of a cross between a plasma ball and a Tesla coil. Okay. Kind of that, when you get if somebody gets their fingers close to it or whatever, it'll. Yep. But yeah, it's and just kind of you hear his own voice, kind of sorcery will be safe. After the storm, everything will be cleansed. I will be clean. We will all be clean. I will be clean.
Do I know anything about what this storm is? Do I get any of that from him?
You've got a point of forgotten lore. Indeed. In that, I mean, Kotis is also the storm. He's like embodiment of storms, and particularly very powerful, damaging storms.
Do I have any?
The Pirates of Min sometimes follow Kotis. More of a, not necessarily follow, but more of a, and not even really worship as so much as do rituals to ward off, because storms are not great for sailors. They're not fans. So Kotis is not a friend to pirates, but Kotis is known to them, right. And kind of a.
Given that I saw in my prophecy, after seeing Alwyn coated in Denari's blood, there was a blast of sorceress corruption. Do I think that this? Do I get anything about that from him?
Not in his head, no.
So he has no idea, like, what the next step in the plan is here.
Not yet.
Cool.
He's kind of slumping in his eyes are also kind of, your eyes have gone kind of black with sorcery to kind of get in his head.
Black all through the sclera.
Yeah, his eyes are kind of going white because they've rolled up into his head. He's starting to seize.
I'm just gonna drop him.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave him.
Kind of just as having a grand mal on the floor there.
Just gonna leave him. Fuck this guy.
All right. Hold that thought, because everybody, it is still we're still on one. Out in the carriage. What are we doing? I guess nope. We'll go to Pax, who's in the middle of a chase scene. So.
Well, physical me probably had to get picked up by those guards, because otherwise I'm going to get trampled. So that's something for Adair to deal with later, is the fact that those guards are going to show up carrying my unconscious body.
Adira's not gonna be there. Adira doesn't do
that's-
sorcery. She's not in these kinds of places.
That's very true.
But yeah, that seems like a problem for getting out of Spirit Realm.
That's Future Pax's problem.
Yes, that is a Future Pax problem.
But yeah, we're just gonna. Another thought, given would sit in places, but he couldn't like necessarily interact with things. What are the levels of going through things that people in the spirit world have to deal with? Like, I don't know. Is there a way I could get myself up into that carriage too? To like,
I mean,
all?
probably.
Or is it like I don't know if time is being a weird soup. If there's a point where I could just kind of shimmy up to.
Yeah, time definitely is a weird soup. I think where you're at is kind of maybe disjointed in that you're kind of chasing this spirit person guy. I hesitate to say Rain Man, but anyway, but the running is also it's kind of disjointed because you're not necessarily, covering the ground. You're just kind of like, okay, I need to be there to catch up to him, and then you just are. You know what I mean? It's like 7 League Boots in that you're kind of blinking to places in a way. It's that whole very Doctor Strange hallways, like lengthening and shortening and stuff like that. And
dream
yeah,
logic.
there's a little,
I want to be there and I'm there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it's not important in the dream to actually cover the ground. We don't care about that. We're gonna just blink forward in your brain narrative to be at that place to see, okay, oh, he's made a turn, kind of thing. And just like where they're hopping toward
I don't suppose.
So
You're
may not
probably
be the
actually
wisest thing to do.
Go ahead.
Sometimes you do irrational things. Sorry, what? I was just thinking out loud.
Yeah, no, I'm listening to the irrational thing. That's awesome. Go.
Okay. I don't do wise things when I'm in a panic. So compatible this character. If I can kind of like think and then be there, is there any way I could think and then like be in their way?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if I'm much shorter,
there's still going to be a roll
and I go in
involved,
for
but
a low level grapple, could I go in and like, self bola their legs?
I mean, to quote, I don't know, some obscure game master online, you can certainly try.
I don't know. I'm just trying to think if I need to get to this person. Let me literally be on this person, or I'll,
so
teleport
I think,
on their shoulders or something. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think basically there's still a chase roll because what's involved there is more of a guessing correctly, right? That you're putting yourself in the path, and that actually turns out to be the path, right? So so you're still going to want to make basically an athletics roll, difficulty of 4. I rolled for the other person, so let's see how you do.
I'm gonna add a couple more points on there. If you
Okay.
roll low again, I'm putting you in nap time. So. Okay, that's okay. That's a 5.
Nice. Is that 5 with how many points did you put in it?
2 more. So I rolled
Okay.
a 3. So I got
Okay.
5 to
A 5 is
basically be like right in front of you.
So you do actually get in front of them, and so you're ahead right now, which means that you would be able to, so next time you can do a thing where you're trying to attack them and then still do the chase, but that'll increase the difficulty of the chase rolls. You want to spend more points on it. So Riona and then Alwyn, or do you guys want to kind of what's going on in the carriage, which is again moving a lot faster, kind of just tearing ass through here?
I think Alwyn is how I am right now, which is shaking leg, trying to think. And I have a couple ideas.
Okay.
But Riona, do you have any ideas you want to do first? 'Cause both mine are dangerous and possibly very like.
I will say with
What you come
Riona,
up
I
with
do.
not with dangerous plants? What?
Well, I was just thinking that things that Riona would know. The streets are not safe right now, because
No.
this kind of thing is gonna go like wildfire, and it'll probably get through the crowds faster than the carriage will, as far as the news. That, but there are other ways to get around in Eversink than the streets.
Uh-huh.
Riona knows some of them and has some friends, so that's a possibility.
I was thinking once Riona put up the topiary that she would then just keep an eye out and make sure that no one actually tries attacking the carriage right now.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping watch, because making the topiary was the big thing that I thought of. So I'll let Alwyn do whatever he has in mind. Go for it, Cole.
I have.
If I need to do something afterwards, then okay.
I have 2 ideas, and none of them are good.
I mean, I just blatantly use sorcery in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah, I think mine's
Okay.
gonna go
Rid
into
of
heresy.
Storm's
Okay,
Law.
they're not. You're not the focus of the scene.
Alwyn is going to look at Denari and just say, "It's been done before, maybe not by you, but you are a goddess who can make the decisions yourself. Can you pick a representative to sign for you? And this way we can get you out of here, because you're dead, you're gone. There's something still, like Codus is chasing us right now."
Codus. That little prick.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kick his ass. She starts to like get up. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking kick it.
No, signing day first,
I'm
and
gonna,
also
I'm gonna sit down.
She's gonna have a hard time standing up with the planes
Topiary.
surrounding her.
Right, yeah. She starts to, it's like not moving. It's like,
here's the thing. Trust me, I believe you can kick his ass. I 100% believe that. He ain't shit. But
I can't break. If I don't sign, I'm in breach of contract.
you can't pick a Okay. That enforces Alwyn's other decision. Alwyn just says out loud, "I'm going to need everyone to be really cool with a lot of things really quickly." And grabs his staff and just bangs it against the carriage as loud as possible and collapses on the ground. And I think Pax sees Alwyn in the spirit realm shouting for any Navy, pirates, sailors of any kind who knew, and commands them to follow his exact instructions. And I'm going to make the biggest fucking ward against Code as possible, to where it will actually stop him from pursuing the carriage.
Okay.
Right
You
there
want
with
to
him.
you want to ward the no? I mean,
I want to ward
Alwyn
so hard that it
necessarily. Okay. You want to lock around the carriage. All right, that is fine.
I want to lock Codus away from everyone to prevent a storm from crashing through Eversink.
Well, that's normally Denari's job, but yeah.
Nara's a little incapacitated at the moment.
I'm a temp worker for the day.
Is-
filling in for Denari on tonight's episode of Denari's Half Dozen is Alwyn.
Nothing can go
Is
wrong.
Alwyn at least like his body at least next to Riona? Or is there a topiary in the way?
This is, I mean, say, okay, this carriage cannot be that big. And I think it's probably even one of those where the seats face each other kind of situation.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So there's probably, I've got to admit, like Riona and Denari in the topiary on like one side and Alwyn on the other with the priest who is useless. Who's like, what's going on? Where's this plant? What happened?
Mhm.
Why is... Are you guys doing sorcery? We can't have sorcery. This goddess is right here. We can't be doing sorcery. That's not okay.
One's passed
Shooting
out,
the
not even
goddess is
hearing
not
this.
okay. None of this is okay.
And Denari's like, respectfully, please shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Denari is like, but yeah, he's like, I will pay you a swan to shut up.
Mhm.
The priest is like, really?
Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think
kind of, yeah.
I think, yeah, Alwyn's idea is to literally put a storm in a bottle through like whatever forgotten lore and corruption he has to go through, no matter what the cost is for that.
Okay, so Alwyn is searching your brain for okay. This feels like ritual magic that you're gonna have to do really fast.
Yep.
And you're gonna need someplace to do it. Someplace on the water, or someplace on, in, or under the water.
Well, fortunately, we're right now by a lot of water.
Well, I mean, it's Eversink, man. Go 100 yards. But
So, yeah. The spirit of Alwyn starts walking away. There's like another image that like hovers over his body just to like almost protectively staying near it. And Alwyn just kind of runs over and starts like grabbing random spirits and like pulling essences out of statuaries as he goes, just trying to do everything he can.
Are you okay? Are you
I'm doing
grabbing
both, baby.
spirits out of their funerary statues? Okay.
If I see anything that looks like a sailor, or like, because like we're in Iron Cross, and Iron Cross has like, if I remember right, has like military people, and you know.
Yeah, I mean the harbor approach is where like shipyards and a lot of mercenary companies are, but Iron Cross would be also like if there was a business headquarters for a mercenary company, or this would be, you know, this is where the admiralty would be of the Navy if Eversink kind of officially had one instead of just buying one when they need one. Eversink does the thing where they don't actually keep a standing army or navy, they just keep a crap ton of money on hand so that when they need a standing army or navy, they just buy one. So which is nice, like, because
I imagine there are like admirals and sailors who like,
oh, absolutely, but I know that like pulling spirits out of funerary statues is gonna absolutely be a corruption spend, which is fine, which is the thing, which is all good. And I think now that everybody's had a chance to go, that was one. So we tick down, and the carriage is moving slowly through the crowd. Everything seems fine. It's a nice sunshiny day. In a few hours, you'll get to Haven, and the signing will take place, and everything's great.
This is what happens. This is what happens. This is what.
and everything seems bright, sunshiny day. And a crossbow bolt takes the goddess right through the neck, spewing blood all over Alwyn, rocking her back into the carriage. And I will say, next week, what do you do? We'll call that an episode.
Stuck, or was that like, or are we back to normal? I'm like a little concerned. If we're resetting, do I get to go with?
That's gonna be.
Or
an
am I
interesting
stuck?
thing. Yeah, maybe that'll be interesting.
How would I stuck on the other side and our bodies just kind of go?
So yeah, actually, I think that's for those who are keeping track. I don't think anybody but PAX has vigilance. Never mind. Anyway, like I said, we'll get to what do you do. We'll get to what do you do next Tuesday. I have been Commander Pulsar. I've been your GM this evening for Denari's Half Dozen. The upset look on my player's face is amazing. You can find me on the internet at Commander Pulsar on Twitter and at Commander Pulsar on Twitch. Well, I guess not at Commander Pulsar, but twitch.tv/Commander Pulsar. On Sundays, we do Lego brunch, where we put together Lego builds, normally large ones. We just finished putting together the Millennium Falcon, which is amazing and looks great on my desk. After that, we're going to be putting together next week we're going to be putting together the DeLorean from Back to the Future. So that'll be fun. And then after that, the Titanic. You'll find me here on Tuesday nights, and you can find me if you need a professional GM on startplaying.games at Commander Pulsar. And I guess for outros in initiative order, I'll go to Stephanie. How mad she is at me.
I am a professional game master for hire. I am part of Charm Person Games, or a queer women-owned service. You can book with us at charmpersongames.com. Like I said, it's the annual Give Gay People Your Money month next tomorrow in an hour. So gay people, give me your money at charmpersongames.com. You can run anything you want. Do everything special, but I definitely specialize in slow creeping horror and making people afraid. So if that's your jam, I'm your GM. I have some projects coming up soon that I will be able to announce, and also I make overlays and starting soon screens and UX soon screens and icons and those kind of things. So you can hit me up on Twitter or on Discord for that. Kitty, how about you go next?
All right, I'm Kitty, or Caffeinated Kitty. I am a freelance artist and fantasy writer and editor. I make custom fantasy maps, I paint miniatures, and I make 3D Magic the Gathering art altars. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as wizardly_kitty. You can find me over on DeviantArt as caffeinated-kitty, or here on Twitch as caffeinated_kitty. I am planning to start an art stream at some point. And let's have Cole go next.
Hi, y'all. I'm Cole. I played Alwyn, who fucked it up a little bit, forgetting about part of the vision. You can find me on Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram at IceColdBrew. You can find my stream. Oh, well, I already said that part. You can find me again on this channel this Sunday at 2 p.m. EST, where I will be playing Tristero Valentine, who has no longer has a record for speed run to Quirk Out. You can also actually hear me talk a lot about the wonderful, amazing, no way related to the Bear game, Nicolas Cage film Willy's Wonderland over at the Bloody Stream, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. Give it a listen. Check out Willy's Wonderland. It's a ride. It's so much fun. And yeah, check me out on Mondays. It's usually when I stream with my partner, Hilarity Art, who will be starting up her own stream soon. And let's go over to PAX. Let's go over to Aki.
Hi, my name is Aki. You can find me at It's Aki, which is ITSAWKIE on Twitter, here on Twitch and on Twitter. I am a variety game streamer as well as a yarn enthusiast. You can't really see behind me. I don't know how much you can. Who starting tomorrow or in like 2 hours, I will have be opening commissions for the first time for me to do. I do OC Amigurumi. I like to make things, and we have 2 slots open left for the month of June, or until I'm done. And you can hit me up on Twitter or Discord for those things. And yeah, that's all I really do. I don't do anything else here. Yeah.
Let's see. Have we gotten everybody?
That's everybody. So I think that's just
like done me, and yeah. Brandon can shout himself out. He's got his own channel, and
yeah.
Check out the Discord, Huntsman's Hydra. There's I'm sure there's a link below. We do all kinds of other great things. Welcome to that. Check us out. Check out Huntsman's Hydra on Twitter, and on Twitch. This is not the only stream. You can also check out Brandon himself on AshenWorks, twitch.tv/AshenWorks, Twitter at
@AshenWorks.
Drive-through RPG as AshenWorks, and if you use Drive-through RPG, you can also check my pin tweet and use my affiliate code on Drive-through RPG to buy Brandon's stuff and hook me up a little. I don't know if you feel like it. Anyway, what I shout at him and help myself with this. It's fine. Yeah. It's commerce. I'm just an honest citizen of Eversink. I'm just doing right by Denari and practicing some commerce here. It's fine. But no, Brandon writes all kinds of amazing stuff. The Butter Cow, it's just the Path of the Uwu Barbarian, and all kinds of great things on drive-through for 5e and other game systems. So yeah, absolutely worth checking out.
He also featured a new show this past Sunday, The Lost Road of Etheria. I think I'm saying that right. Yeah. Which I think is coming out on Thursday for public release.
Yep. And which uses alchemy, which is a really interesting looking VTT. And if I'm not mistaken, with Alchemy VTT, you can actually be in the VTT as a spectator for the stream as well as watching. But I think they're not. I think they're not streaming live though. So
producer voice here. We are not. We will be once streamer mode is implemented, because that's the part we're waiting on. We will be offering spectator mode with player consent, of course, to our Patreon and Ko-fi members whenever that happens, because we do have a different record date than the premiere date. So we would have to work that out.
Yep, fair enough. But that's one of the things that Alchemy is geared up to do when that comes down the pike. So that's going to be kind of cool.
Q3, hopefully.
All right. Very good. So, but now I know they're doing a thing now. You can kind of get in early on the ground floor, and there's some founder stuff involved and things like that. So that's kind of neat too. Well, yeah, that's us. We will see you next week, because things are getting weird. I should come up with a tagline. May you always have coin in your pocket. I don't know.